It's a masterclass like you've never experienced before. Today, I am so excited, and I'm so grateful to have Dr. Akintoye Akindele with us today. So if you've just joined us for the first time, well, you've missed out two fantastic sessions. Day one was all about the starter pack, talking about a business plan and everything that you need to know. The first thing that you need to do in order to organize yourself and organize your thoughts in order to, on the path to becoming an entrepreneur. Yesterday, we had a nice conversation talking about accessing finance and the various options that you have, from getting a loan to going the venture route and getting a VC or an angel investor, or we even had Ife talk to us about how you could access a grant if that is what your business is about. But today is a very special day. Well, first of all, you've got my investor here, and it is hard to pin him down for 2 hours because he's usually on a plane in meetings. So the fact that we've got him for a full 2 hours is simply priceless. We've still got a few more people trying to join us. So we will be kicking off in a few short moments. In the meantime, if you've just joined us and you've never heard of me, my name is Fade Ogunro. I am the CEO and founder of bookingsafrica.com. Bookings Africa is a web app that connects millions of users all around the world to African freelance talent. So just imagine you've gone to Ghana for a holiday or for a business trip and you need a barber. Now you can book that at the tap of a button. Or you've gone for a wedding in Cape Town and you need a makeup artist and you're not sure if they can do black skin. Well, now on Bookings Africa, you can book the makeup artist, and like never before, you can now see their portfolio and book and pay for them. And in order to get that customer confidence, you also see ratings and reviews from previous customers. So that is what Bookings Africa is all about. I've had an interesting journey as a founder, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it really wasn't for Dr. Akindele and the entire Platform Capital team. So on that note, let me see, what's the time now? We've got, I'll give it one more minute because I see people are still trying to join us. Could you just leave a message in the chat group if you can hear me, if you can see the screen that is being shared as well? I just want to ensure that everybody can see that. Please just leave a message. Funlola says yes. Oluwaseun says yes. All right, so that's good stuff. Did any of you actually refer a friend? Remember yesterday I said if you're enjoying this free masterclass, then please tell a friend. Who did that? Okay, so Emeka, Beryl, everybody can see me. Okay, thank you guys very much. You can see the screen and you can hear me. Perfect. Okay, so on that note, I would like to, I'm going to let Dr. Toye introduce himself because of course nobody knows him better than himself, but I want to talk about my experience with him. So I met Dr. Toye through a lady called Patricia who works for General Electric, and I've known Patricia for about 7 years. I actually produced a lot of content and a lot of documentaries for GE. So last summer, I was still trying to pitch and I was trying to raise money, and I was getting lots of no's, no, your pitch is good, but we're not interested. Your pitch is good, but you know, you're asking for too much money. Or so I had another person, an investor, actually offer me $1 million for 50% of my company, which I had to turn down. So in my process, in my journey of raising funds, Patricia introduced me to the Platform Capital, and I had a meeting with Dr. Famile and Dr. Akintoye. And literally, by the end of that meeting, I walked away knowing this is the person that I want to invest in my business. And it wasn't just because of the financial reason, it was because of the way that he thinks. He was the only person, only investor that broke down my entire business for me. He understood where I wanted to go in 10 years without me even explaining it. And he also, more importantly, showed me the path as to how I can get there. So I even believed in my business, even tenfold before I even met him. So it was a very fruitful conversation, very enriching, and I walked away, like I said, knowing that this is the investor that is going to add value, immense, priceless value to Bookings Africa, and that is why I agreed to the offer. So on that note, Dr. Toye, are you there?
I'm here. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
Right now, you're sharing your screen so we can see your bio page about.
Wait.
So we're going to leave that up for a few moments. I'll let people read that. But in the meantime, I would like for you to introduce yourself, but then also let us know your journey about pitching. Because of course you weren't born a natural, well, maybe you had a natural gift of the gab, but you weren't born naturally able to pitch. So at what point how did you start off? Did you have any difficulties, and how did you overcome them to become the finesse orator that you are now?
Fade Jimmy Ogoro, thank you for inviting me onto this session. Real honor. For most of you, Fade has already exposed me that I'm an investor. So anything I say about Fade, I have to say it because I'm already an investor anyway. But on a more serious note, I think what Fade is doing is excellent. And I will come back to Fade later. Fade, in explaining how she got us to commit, she missed an important fact, which I'll speak to today. It's about knowing your audience and selling your market to the right audience. And I'll come to that. Very, very important. A lot of us pitch the right product to the wrong market. And we then wonder why we're not getting closer. But I'll come to that very later. Over the course of my career, I've had the misfortune and good fortune of pitching several times and listening to pitches. For the last 15 years, I must have listened on an average a month to at least 50 pitches a month. For the last 15 years, 50 pitches a month, that's about 1 or 2 a day. So if you do that maths, I've believe over 1,500 pitches or whatever it is the math comes to, a month. And that's very instructive. Actually, it's about 7,000 pitches I've listened to. And I've pitched myself. So my name is Akintoye. I'm a lecturer at the University of Lagos. That's my full-time job. And that's my passion. But I'm an investor as well. I'm an investor and I invest through either my family office and my investment boutique firm called Platform Capital that I run along with other partners of mine, or Unicorn Capital that I also run with other partners of mine. Platform Capital is focused on, it's a generalist investor, investing across all business cycles, from ideation to turnaround to scale, because we write all sorts of stakes. We invest alone and co-invest. While Unicorn is focused on tech and tech-enabled industries. So between Unicorn as a platform and Platform Capital, we cover all the 10 sectors that we like to invest in. What are the 10 sectors we like? We like food value chain, including agriculture. We like tech, media, telecoms, and payments. We like energy and power. We like education. We like healthcare. We like infrastructure. We like financial services. And I think we like services as a whole. Prior to doing this lecturing full-time and investing part-time, I was a managing partner and founder of Synergy Capital, largest SME manager across Middle Africa, which we built from over the last 13 years. I left that role 2019, November last year, to focus on my passion of deploying long-term capital. Right now, we invest in our 15-year cycles. And I'll tell you why I think 15-year cycle is very important much later on. If you do ask me, and I'll tell you my views on raising money that is not appropriately tenured for what you're seeking to do with them. So we deploy long-term capital or permanent capital. We don't exit unless the owner exits as well. So sometimes we are there, we want to stay for life, or at least we're doing 15-year capital. That's one. We are stage agnostic. So whether it's an idea or it's a turnaround, we are size agnostic, whether it's $10,000 or $1 billion. If you can't raise it, we can't find it. So we don't have to have that money. And we are style agnostic. We do active, do passive, just do public markets. We have offices in Africa, Latin America, North America, and Asia. Basically what we do is we work with you. We are not investors. We are not partners. We are entrepreneurs. We are investors who work with you as partners, who work within your firm to help you grow your business. We believe that the only way we can be successful is if you are successful. So for us, it's not about return first. It's about the business first. The business should scale first. The business does well, the right structure, we will do well. And hence, the long-term cycle. We also think that the continent or our business that we invest are those that over a 15-year cycle create significant value. We are not looking to make 3 times money or 5 times money in 5 years. No. We want to make 15, 20 times money in 15 years. And that's the science to that, which I will share across this presentation. So from where I sit, that's what we do at Platinum and Unicorn. I went to a couple of schools. I've been told no by a couple of schools. I think I'm fairly educated well enough. And I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of great investors, great entrepreneurs, great people who have, over the course of my career, opened my eyes, supported me, added value to me, and ensured that I'm able to be where I am today. I'm by no means a finished article. I'm by no means experienced. I'm by no experienced enough to be finished. I'm by no means the leading author in pitching or leading to pitches. What I will seek to share with you today, for the course of 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it is my experience. I've been listening to over 5,000 pitches and pitched over 1,000 times myself. I must have pitched over 2,500 times myself, actually. And I'll tell you that story as well today. And what I learned, knocking on doors, cold calling, or being cold called. How do you pivot? How do you pitch? And how do you sell? When is the right time to sell? When is the right time to pitch? A lot of people don't even know what a pitch is. Is it a tease? Is it a close? Is there an interest confirmation? What are you trying to achieve? They're all very different. So that's a brief introduction about who I am. And I think why Father has dragged me on to this session today.
Absolutely. So before we go straight into the nitty gritty of it, do you remember the first time you actually pitched?
So I think one of the first mistakes people make is that and you said it, people always think that pitching comes natural to people, or that some people are born with the gift of the gab. That's nothing further from the truth. If you read the story of the Beatles, a great music group in the 60s and 70s, they must have sung to audiences over thousands of times before they became the Beatles. Nobody is born with any skill that's called gift of the gab. You learn it, you hone your skill. You learn it by practicing. Practice is the biggest teacher. Practice is the biggest thing that prepares you. So you see people that you see them speaking very well, or you say they have this gift of gab, they've learned to do it, either by pitching to their siblings, or pitching to their friends, or by taking risk. You have to develop a skill. You may have some talent, but the science is that talent is overrated. That's a great book I tell you about to read. Go and read that book called Talent is Overrated. It's a great book. It means you can develop skills where you don't have natural strength. Yeah. So first thing I want to debunk is nobody was born to be a great preacher, a great whatever it is. You learn it, you develop it. I mean, when people ask me and say, Toye, you preach very well, I laugh. What people don't know about me is that, and for those that went to secondary school with me, they will tell you, I used to stammer. I learned how to conquer my demons. So there is nothing you cannot get beyond. There's a science to this thing. There's a process of evolution. There's a process for growth. There's a process for even developing what you want. So I started pitching way earlier than I knew what a pitch was. Way earlier. back in high school or university, I used to do all sorts of businesses. The first memorable one I'll tell you about, very interesting. This was back in the day, I think it was 91 or 92. There is this construction equipment. They use it for surveying, I think. It's called a theodolite. I don't know that people that do construction don't know it. So apparently it's used for surveying. And people that use it for surveying to measure the ground. So I think one of them time where we had ASU on strike, we are home, we're not doing anything. And one surveyor then brought the equipment around to where I was then in Yaba with my friends, two groups of mine, to say, I'm trying to sell this theodolite. Can you help me sell it? So there I was, we're just sitting down, bumming around. I'm like, how much this thing? Back in the day then, the guy then said, oh, you could sell this for like 50,000 naira. I'm like, what? Now, listen, I think, then my monthly allowance was about, 10 naira a day, about 3 naira a month. So my commission was going to be about 10 grand if we sold 50K. After 2 years, feeding allowance that my dad was going to give me to go and sell this to the light. So, product to the light. Market, I didn't do enough work. I just had good products, people use it, help me sell it. And I must have driven to every market in Lagos over a 3-month period. The money I didn't have, the money that I was for food, I used to buy to enter bus, put in a bag from Alaba to K2 to try and sell it. I was pitching to market people. I tried to sell these things for a period of 90 days. At the end of it, I literally had to beg the guy to take his stuff back from me. I said, please, I'm not doing it again. I must have pitched every day to 10 people who just buy from me. Mm-hmm. So that was my first memorable pitch. I was selling a product. What's a pitch really? And I'll get to it very soon. People think a pitch is a sale. A lot of people that sell think that selling is an action. Selling is not an action, it's a reaction. It's not an action. You don't sell. You assure a buying decision. It's not about you. No matter how good you are talking, how good the product is, if the buyer does not buy, you haven't sold. So selling itself is a derived action. But we'll get to that. I will not come back. That's my first pitch. Then out of that pitches, I tried to stand back in the day, stun guns to my brother and his colleague in the Oceanic Bank back in the day. I tried to pitch everything. Everything I learned to pitch. And so my first memory pitch was trying to sell theodolite to people that needed it, and that failed. And I think over the course of 92 to God knows how long, I must have gotten like 99% no ratio. I mean, how can you top that? I got so many no's. I think I learned I learned how to avoid no. And I think that's the other thing about pitching and about understanding it. Your ability to deliver or to deliver or get the value you want comes first with you, your conviction, your knowledge, and your understanding. So that's my first pitch. Then moving more to formal pitches as it applies to the investment here. I started pitching actively again when I entered banking industry, where I was then trying to get deposits from clients or trying to sell a credit product back in GTB to my clients. I have to go and sell a value proposition. Because what is a pitch itself? It's selling a value proposition to potential clients. That's what it is. So I did loads of that in GT Bank. Sold credit instruments, sold liability instruments, sold advisory services. That then moved me into when I worked with my boss, John Darlington, to set up Bond Bank, where we then tried to pitch to investors to back us and fund Bond Bank then. When the central bank had said there were no more banks being licensed, when everybody said there were too many banks in the system, we had to then carve a niche for ourselves, find the right investor partners, find the appropriate capital structure and instruments to then raise money to fund that bond bank. And so I did that. That was very helpful. Loads of investors, loads of late night, and I had a great teacher in John Darlington. I then left bond bank to try and start up my own business first. I pitched to a lot of investors from Ghana to London. Of course, that didn't work. So I went back and I realized what was missing was that I could not sell a credible story of capital structure with. I knew enough of debt. I didn't know enough of equity. So I left banking to go and learn Equity at Capital Alliance, ACA, where I then learned how to pitch to a lot of investors, the institutional investors, the DFIs, the commercial investors. And over the course of 5 years working with a great mentor and sponsor, Nelama, I developed better. Then went to this Energy Capital that I founded in 2006, and I pitched. But I think my biggest pitching window happened when we were trying to raise our first fund at Synergy and our second fund. And I must have pitched at one time over a period of 9 months. I must have not attempted to pitch or pitch to over 1,000 investors from New York to London on a roadshow. Knock, open door, yeah, nay. Knock, open door, yeah, nay. You know? So, yeah. Till there I still pitch. And whether I'm trying to raise $10,000 from somebody or $2 billion, the common lessons remain the same. The LCM of pitching remains the same for me. I found a formula that works for me. I found an understanding that helped me achieve results. And don't get me wrong, I still get no's. My no's are similar to my yes, but my conversion ratio is a lot higher than it used to be back in the day. So whoever has been told a lot of no, do not worry. You're in good company. The greatest investors get more no's and more yes. But as you carve out your niche, what then happens right now is that you then know who to go and pitch to. I'll start with this comment to you before we go on to the next one. There are two metals on the chemistry table, on the elemental table. One is copper, one is gold. Okay? One is copper, one is gold. They both look alike. Pitching is depending on what you want. You cannot take copper to a gold market. If the value the investor wants is gold and you bring copper, you will not get a buy this and you will not sell. As simple as that. If you then take gold to a copper market, that market will price your gold like copper. Pitching or selling is about value matching, knowing what market to place my product so that the value I seek is appreciated and is paid for. So if you are trying to sell a product, know your market, know your audience. Same thing. There are two sisters or two brothers or two sisters, because the future is feminine. Two carbon sisters. One is charcoal, one is diamond. They have the same element. Charcoal is useless in a diamond market. And diamond is useless in a charcoal market. The first thing you first do is, what are you trying to sell? So, and that's where I'll leave the question to.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was actually deep. I love the analogy of copper and gold and diamond and charcoal. It's absolutely, it makes a lot of sense. And I completely understand what you're saying about value matching, and you really need to know your audience. Otherwise you're wasting your time or you're just setting a barrier up for yourself. So let's get straight into it. It is now 5:24. Over the next, between now and about 7 o'clock, we're gonna go through what your pitch deck should cover. After that, we will then have a question and answer segment where you can text, chat in the group chat. You can type your questions. I'll indicate when you can send those in. And then after the pitch deck, we're then going to go into the actual art of pitching itself. Once you've created your pitch deck, you then want to be able to pitch it or sell it to potential investors. Then Dr. Toye will run us through that. And finally, as an investor, he will then let us know what he looks out for, because sometimes it's beyond your the problem that you're trying to solve. It could also be, you know, how hardworking you are, how passionate you are. Sometimes I know that investors invest in the person rather than just the idea, so or the business. So later on at the end of it, we will talk to Dr. Toye about what he looks out for and generally what investors want to hear. So that's what we're going to be here for, doing in the Pitch Perfect series. And Dr. Toye, are you ready with your deck? I can see the diet on impact for you. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, like Fade said, I will try and take the first two together and what I want to see, or what investors want to see, or what me as an investor, because I can't speak for all investors, I can't speak for myself. So they're looking to raise money, you want us to invest, at least you know what to expect from me. So I've titled this very short presentation, Pitching and Pitch Decks, my experience. This is my story. I'm nowhere an authority. I'm just a regular guy who's just trying to hustle, as they will say, you know, because we're all trying to hustle after, aren't we? So I think I'm going to first start by laying the foundation. A lot of people get this wrong all the time. And this slide, if you can see the slide, please confirm. Why do most people think every idea is a market opportunity? Not every idea is a market opportunity. There are great ideas that the market does not even want, or market is not ready for. Sometimes you are too early for a market. Sometimes the market has moved beyond it. There's an idea of, for example, I want to live forever. I don't want to die. It's a great idea. Okay, how do you roll it out? What's the business model for that? People always assume that I want to pitch an idea to you. Don't pitch an idea to me. Don't pitch an idea to me. I don't want to pitch an idea to me. When you are pitching, or when you want to pitch somebody, you want to pitch a great investment opportunity, not a great idea. Don't forget, and I'm going to comment, don't forget, it's about the investor. Your idea is your idea. Why should the investor care? So first point, not every idea is a market opportunity. You then find a good opportunity. It doesn't make a good business. A great market opportunity that you can't exploit. For example, rolling out power plants in Nigeria using nuclear. It's a great, good opportunity. It makes sense. It's stable. It's this. It's that. But there are issues structurally that limit your ability to roll it out. Not every good opportunity is a good business. Don't ever forget that. And the first 2 points I've made is what I call the business thesis. A lot of people that come to present do not understand how to dimension their business thesis. And I'll show you how. Because for me, before we even go to pitching, let's first have a common understanding of what a business idea is and what an investment idea is. So lastly here, and I think this is my biggest point, not every good business is a great investment. That business may just be a good lifestyle investment. One for you as an entrepreneur, but the investor can't say it. You need to let the investor know how he's going to make money. Why should this matter to this investor? Because at the end of it, every investor wants to make money. A lot of people focus more on their own value, their own selling points, how unique they are, what they want to do, what problem will solve. That's all nice and good, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, I'm an investor. How do I make money out of this? What are my liquidity options? What are my value options? How would I get value? Why is the right guy to deliver this value? So let's first be clear. An idea is not an opportunity. An opportunity is a business, and a business is an investment. In pitching, you are pitching an idea. If it's an idea, then the ideation stage, an idea that can become a good opportunity that, if well implemented, will make a good business and give the investor a good return. I repeat, in pitching, if in an idea, you're trying to pitch an idea that will make a good market opportunity that, if well implemented, will create a good business and then deliver good return to the investor. If it's an existing business, it's a business thesis, which is an idea as well, that if you implement, will put the business in a stronger footing, and then also then unlock value for the business to give them a good return. Do not forget about return. While you may not be able to guarantee return, show the investor the possibilities that could happen if that business model works out. Show the investor the ways in which you are going to implement what strategies you put in place to give yourself a chance of running another business model that will deliver that investment return. People always forget that. They spend a lot of times on their business. What about the investor? It's not charity. And even a lot of time when people give you good financial models, they spend all the time on the financial model, they forget what is the business. There is no financial model without a business. It's that simple. This is my magic triangle. If you live here today with anything, please focus on this slide. To answer those questions I asked you earlier, this is what I developed over my career, and everybody that works with me will tell you this is classic story. Remember that I said an idea is not actually a good market opportunity. Market opportunity is not really good, make a good business. A great business doesn't make a good investment. What does that mean? When you have an idea, or it's a concept, or it's a business, even an existing business that needs to raise money, is raising money on an idea. People assume that because I'm an existing business, oh, shouldn't worry about my track record is important. It is important, but each time you're raising money, it's a new business entirely, with all due respect. Each time capital is coming to your business, it's a new trajectory, it's a new curve you are taking. You demonstrate to me why that idea, or why that expansion plan, or why that growth plan, or why that diversification, or why that new market, or why that new product is important. It's called confirming the concept. What is the idea? Whether it's a startup, or it's an expansion, or it's an acquisition, or it's an education. What is it? Why should I care about it? Why does it matter? What will it solve? How does it scale? I call that the commerce. What is the commerce here? See, mankind from the days of Adam will be doing commerce. Commerce is very simple. Demand and supply. What do I want? What does he want? What am I getting value for? People. What is the commerce here? A lot of us have become so educated, we miss the commerce. What's the commerce? What are we selling? What am I buying? What is the value? Why would we buy it? Where is the customer? Who is the customer? How do I know the customer? Extremely important. We miss the basic question of messages. What, why, who, when, how. We need to know. A lot of time, people do not even focus on that. They miss that point totally. You need to understand the commerce. If you do not understand the commerce, you can't then tell me a great idea is a good opportunity. Because the difference between an idea and an opportunity, you demonstrated that there's a commerce available for this idea. Then the next stage is the business model. Oh, okay, so this idea is good. I see it can work. I see the customer. I see a potential customer. I see a potential product. I see why it will work. The next key question, how do we implement this idea, this opportunity? It's called business model. What business model are you going to deploy to unlock that value? So I've seen the value you're trying to exploit. What business model? What architecture? What team structure? What team size? What's your route to market? What's the marketing strategy? How will you remain competitive? How do you resource yourself? How will you execute? Extremely important questions. There are business model questions that will help you execute your idea. That's second level conversation after value identification. First level again, what's the value I'm trying to exploit? Second level, how? And that's a business model. Third level, what capital structure will unlock this value? Because that's then when capital comes to the table. How much capital do I need? When do I need it? What kind of capital do I need? Is it equity? Is it debt? Is it mezzanine? What will you fund? What is the pricing? What's the costing? What timing about, what timing? What is the asset to debt mix? Every important thing that ensures that the financial risk of that business model has been solved is what you then say, okay, so I have an idea, a great opportunity, whether it's a startup or it's a business, the commerce is confirmed, the value is there, opportunity is there. Oh, I've now built a business model, the right people, the right technology, the right team, the right idea, right everything that will then deliver this opportunity. I've then factored in the way I will fund my business so I don't go bankrupt, and all the risks that can happen. If COVID happens, what will I do? If I don't get enough money, what will I do? If I don't have, what type of debt will I get? Is it local debt? Is it foreign debt? Everything about the financial risk of that business is around your capital structure. Those first 3 levels, I call them ideation, concept, and commercialization. They are very important, and funding. That's about business thesis. That is the business thesis of the opportunity. The top of the pyramid is the investment model. How do I make money? I'm an investor. So if you're able to implement this idea and build this great business model on a solid capital structure, how much money will I make? And what are the risks to me making that money? And how are you managing them? My colleague here put mitigation, managing risk. And my guys are very educated. Managing that risk is extremely important. And that's what I need everyone to understand. In pitching, you have to spend time on the first 3 and also the last one. The business thesis of ideas formation, what idea I'm trying to fund, the demonstration of the ability to execute that idea in the business model that works, the discussion around the capital structure and the funding need and how everything will play out, and how I'm so sure that we have a plan where we have money, all the risks are covered, to ensure that the capital being deployed comes back or has a chance of coming back. You're not a soothsayer, but you're going to say, I've done enough work to demonstrate that happening. Guys, this pyramid works all the time. All the time. I don't care whether you're a startup or you're a business. If you cannot answer this question, you can't even start to pitch. You shouldn't bother pitching. Don't bother pitching, because you're not, that means you're just trying to, you're like selling your product in the dark. It's like you're taking copper to the gold market. It's like you're taking charcoal. When I met Fade had a great idea, right? And this flows to my next slide. When I met Fade said to you that Fade introduced herself. So Fade opened the door for this one, so I'm going to use it. So it's not my fault for bringing this example. Fade, you open it up. Fade said she has pitched to a lot of people. Point is, most of us always pitch to people that we don't even know what they want. We don't know who they are. You know, before we go, let me explain. A lot of us that do sales or do pitching, we make one mistake when we're pitching. We think pitching and selling is about us, how good I am, how much I know my stuff, how good my product is, mine. What does that mean? So go and use your money then. You know, go use your money. A lot of us focus on our own value, our own product, our own understanding, all this, you know. A lot of us do that. We forget the most important thing in the art of selling. Selling is not a primary activity. It's a secondary activity. It's a direct activity. You cannot sell if there is no buying decision. It's not about you. The client, the investor must agree to buy. So if you are selling, you are missing the point. You should be convincing to ensuring a buying decision. Then you get a sale. Most people focus on sharing their own unique selling point. And what does that mean? This is my great product. It's great. It solves this problem. You know, all that is nice. But if you don't get a buying decision, you have not sold. So look at copper, for example. A great instrument used in conductivity, used for power, used for a lot of things, used in artwork. You then take it to where all they want is gold. Shine all you like. Shine that copper. Put that copper in glass. Put anything in that copper. Nobody will buy it. You need to go to pitching with a clear understanding that I am trying to get a buy decision. That brings a lot of humility, a lot of understanding, a lot of work to the guy pitching. You must know your audience. You must know your audience. You must understand that the activity you are involved in is in trying to ensure that the person that I'm speaking to understands what value I'm bringing, his needs. So I know the investor, I know who he is, I know what he wants, and what I'm offering matches what he wants. Hence, a buy. Not, I'm taking my product to every investor, you're wasting your time. But until you waste your time, you don't know anyway. So go and waste your time and get better, but learn. Because it's okay to make mistakes. But just don't make a mistake without you realizing what you're doing wrong. I tell people, each time I get something wrong, I do 4 things. What's the first thing I do? I test my assumptions. What assumption did I make that informed the action I took? What is the source of that assumption? Is it internet? Is it consulting paper? Is it my friend? Is it my colleague? Because assumption is at the core of most of our errors and our big issues. So first, I again revisit my assumptions. When I identify where assumption did not play out, why I didn't get a buy decision, I then say, let me go back and change that assumption to something else. And that's called back testing. What if I tried this assumption into a new way? I then back test it into my, okay, so if you had done X, Y, Z, you could have done it this way. Okay. I then scenario plan, third step. So in the future, when I have this kind of chance again, what will I do differently? So remember, I know what went wrong as an assumption. Second thing, I've done my back test, I've analyzed it. Third thing, I'm now creating a scenario plan to say, when I get a chance again to meet a Fade or a Toye or anybody, what will I do differently? And fourthly, I then give myself multiple variability of so I can pivot. So if I then meet a Fade, what happens if it goes this way? So I do what I call complex scenario planning. So scenario plan for if I meet a Fade again, what will I do? The next one. If I meet a Fade again, with different scenario, with different location. So most times when you are pitching, as life will happen, you're able to pivot to anything that happens. And it's ability to pivot that gives you the chance to be able to close. Remember, in pitching, you are trying to get the investor to commit his money to you for a period of time where he may not get value back. In selling, you are selling a product, somebody that is going to use. Either way, he will get some utility out of it. It may not be utility, but in pitching, you are saying, give me your money, I may make you money, or not, but give me your money. Pitching then requires you to understand the investor's unique circumstances, is what he's looking for, how he thinks about risk, how he thinks about risk, how he wants you to mitigate or manage those risks, what he expects, what the horizon is. If I want to invest for a 5-year period and tell me I want to make money for 15 years, foul, nothing going to happen. If I'm looking for just fashion opportunity because I know fashion, they didn't agree to me, it won't work. You need to know all that because you're asking the guy to commit long-term money to you. And a sale is not necessarily, sale is more utilitarian, it's more utility. And pitching is more long-term partnership and trust. The trust element in a pitch, because of the decision you want to make, both of them want to make a buy decision, but in a pitch, you want that guy to commit money on a probability that may be less than 10% or higher. But in a sale, the guy sees what he's buying, he knows the value. Now, so with that in mind, if you're trying to pitch And remember what I said about commerce? Remember what I said about business model? Remember what I said about capital structure? Remember what I said about investment return? And knowing that, please, it is not about you. Don't get me wrong. You have to be strong. You have to have conviction. You have to have passion. You have to be everything you think you are. But most importantly, when you're pitching, you have to be who the investor wants you to be. Let's be clear, it's the investor's money. Okay? If you love yourself so much, how about you invest in yourself and leave the investor alone? So you want to tell the investor, I am who I am is who you want me to be. Making that connection is very important. So and to that effect, that before I go into pitching and what you have to do, there are a few things I want to try to debunk. And maybe this may not be popular, and I don't know whether all the experts will say I'm crazy or not. I don't believe in there's no standard pitch deck format. It's a fallacy. I don't believe in it. There is no standard pitch deck format. There are loads of websites or loads of people that spend their money preparing decks for you. Well, I'm not saying they don't have a business. But if every investor is different, guys, if every situation is different, can the deck then be the same all through? No. Yes, there are elements that will be in a deck, that should be in a deck, and I'll share those elements with you. But you must be able to tweak your deck to your investor. You must know your audience. If you don't know your audience, I'll tell you a story. 2016. So we're trying to raise Synergy Second Fund, and I've always been I was taught, and I realized a long time ago, that the best way to raise money is to start raising money when you don't need money. Very profound statement. The best way to be successful at fundraising is to start raising funding when you don't need it. What does that mean? Invest in those relationships with those investors, cultivate them. So over time, they get comfortable with you. Investing is about getting comfortable with the opportunity. Investing has a lot to do with the person you are embarking. So having all said, all and done, investing is about the team, the entrepreneur, and the opportunity. Can this entrepreneur execute? A great business model in the wrong hands is a dead business model. Simple. So the team or the entrepreneur is extremely important to invest in. Okay? Don't ever forget that. A great team with a bad business model will make okay money. A great team with a good business model will make great money. A great business model with a bad team will not make money. Doesn't matter. You're going to lose money all day long. So investors are looking at you to say, do you know what they are selling? And part of that is knowing your audience. Knowing your audience. So I've always believed in cultivating my investors well ahead of when I need them. So I always spend time appraising my universe of investors. I always spend time getting them ready. So this is what I'm doing. But I do what a lot of people don't do. I know people don't do it. I spend time to understand the investors and ask, what do they want to see? I'm not a soothsayer now, and a sorcery is a skill set I don't have. Some of you may have it. I don't have it. I can't read your mind, right? So I need to, how will I know what you want if I don't ask you? If I don't spend time with you? Or research, what are the deals you've done? Go online. What have you done? What kind of deals have you done? Who does like to invest in? If it's back anybody I know, go and meet that person. What is the investor like? What did they ask you? You do your homework on that investor so much that you know what that investor is looking for. Your audience is extremely important. So any document you are presenting must then match your audience. So I'd always figured that Australia was so far away. A lot of Africans don't even know how big Australia is. For me, for a long time, I didn't know that it was bigger than, almost as big as Africa continent size-wise. Very big continent. Or as big as North America, rather. Almost as big, not as big, almost as big as North America or USA. Let me be careful here. So I decided to go to Australia to go and look for And I knew that there were a lot of big firms there, a lot of big funds, funds that $800 billion funds, massive funds, supernation funds, massive. And I like to go to where that fear was, because for me, I like to be contrarian. I'm not going to swim in everybody's water. I'll swim in a different water, differentiate myself. I'll always give my investors or my clients a different perspective to everything so that you know what you're looking for. I like to show investors like to know why you're different. Why are you different? Why should I? Because we see a lot, why are you different? What about you is different? And that happens with education. So I spend a lot of time educating and nurturing my investors. And I cultivate them over time such that by the time I'm going to pitch to them, I know them, I know what they're looking for, and I'm giving them what they're looking for. That way, the work or the task is easier. So I went to Australia, and I went to pitch to a large fund. Now listen to this. I knew they were big, but I didn't know they were $800 billion big. All I wanted was just $20 million. African boy from Lagos. My fund was $300 million. I was looking for between $20 and $50 million commitment by check. Now, and this was 5 years ago, so this is not even like 20 years ago. So let's tell you that we're all still learning. And then sat down in front of this guy in this fund. I started pitching and telling my nice stories, my nice stories. Because I like this story, I like that. So how much are you trying to raise? I said $250 million. So the guy looked confused for a while. He said, from us, because our minimum check is $1 billion. So, my ego left me and ran back to my village quickly. My left Australia, my ego ran back to Abeokuta and sat down behind a tree. I wanted to ask for $50 million. The guy said their minimum check, and they really do those checks that are too small. Our minimum check is $1 billion. I would like to write checks of $20 billion. I just want $20 million now. In fact, how many zeros after $20 billion? Like 3 zeros. There was no way I could pivot out of that situation. I failed in my fundamental work of knowing my customer base. I tried to recover and still kept relationship till now. But the point is, I took copper to a gold market. They liked it. They couldn't do it. Very, very important experience. Know your audience. If somebody wants to write, there are times when, the same on the other side, I remember a case very well where I was going to pitch somebody who I thought could write a $5 million check. And the guy just wrote a $50,000 check. The other extreme, you cannot show anger or disgust. Respect for the investor is supreme. First point is know your audience. What are they looking for? What are they trying to invest in? What have they done before? See, it's only in the movies that you get to pitch once and you hit it. In real life, it doesn't work like that. It never works like that. Who is that investor? Who has he backed? What is he looking for? What is his track record? What is his trajectory? How does he invest? Who does he know? You need to know him and research that investor. Elevator pitches are for people who have profiled that investor so well, they walk in and they slam dunk because they know that guy. And I'll teach you that very soon. Second, context is always very important. A lot of us miss that context. We miss it all the time. Investor context. There are times when the investor likes you, likes your product, likes your pitch, likes everything about that. But the context in which you are offering that investor the opportunity doesn't make sense. The guy is looking to be a first-time closer or looking for a value opportunity. You're giving a growth opportunity. The investor likes to invest as part of a club. You're giving a single source deal. The investor likes majority investment. You're giving minority investment. The investor likes Latin America. You're showing him Asia. The investor likes what is the context in which that investor invests. But most importantly, in what nature of your meeting is that context happening? Are we meeting at conferences? The way you pitch at a conference, let's say you pitch in a boardroom. The way you pitch at an AGM, sometimes you pitch in your office room. What is the context of that? And that environment is very important. In what environment are you pitching? Is it in a conference setting? Is it in all of the pitch day meeting? where all of you are in booths, people are passing by, or is it in an elevator? What context informs your pitch? You have to pivot your pitch to your context. Like I said earlier, you need to understand what the investor wants. Father, I know I'm mindful of time, so and I won't take too much time, but we have time.
Oh yeah, yes, of course.
Okay, that's very important. These three things, please don't forget it. Context. The context drives your approach. Your audience drives your content. And your investor nature drives, your investor's needs drives your value proposition. Again, I'll repeat. Your context drives your approach. The audience that I present to, what type of investor it is, where it is, all those things, location, type of investor, stage of investor, style of investor, is it an LP, is it a pension fund, is it a foundation, drives your pitch. And their expectations drives the value you offer. Those three things are very important to pitching. Now, look at this, very important. In pitching, there are three types of main pitches that I believe exist. There's a teaser. So a lot of people don't understand that getting investor commitment is a process. Even when investors say, I'm interested, it will still take time before you get that capital. When you are presenting to an investor, what is your goal? What is your aim? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve the guy's interest, to get him interested? The investor interest. Oh, interesting. So basically, what you're trying to achieve is to get interest of the investor into saying, I want to know more. The goal for a tease, a first-time contact, a first-time exposure, a first-time meeting to any investor is the guy should go away saying, interesting, I want to know more, I like that. The only time you get the guy says, I'm interested, like Faded got the first time, is because I had been looking for a deal like that for a long time, and the person that named place Faded and I knew I was looking for that. So she was able to then move from interest into, and by the way, that was not her first time. She has first pitched me on the phone first for like 30 minutes. I said, I understand. She called me that after the introduction. She called me once on the phone, so she already got me interested. Now, let me show you a quick video about what a pitch, a getting interest is. An interest doesn't have to be a presentation, can be a voice, can be a deck. For your first time, every time you open your mouth, guys, you are selling. You are pitching. Whether it's a video you are doing, whether it's a PowerPoint you are doing, whether it's voice. Every time you are doing that, you are pitching. And when you are pitching, if it's for investor, do not ever get it confused that because you are in a pub, or you are working socially, everything you say, you are being appraised. Now, getting interest is your first thing. I want to get the investor interested in knowing more. Because the more he knows, he's able to make an informed decision. There is no stupid money. And if you get stupid money, you're going to get a headache. You get an investor who will not add value, who will start asking you questions after they've done the investment, and then have serious relationship issues with that investor. You want investors who understand what they are getting themselves into and are able to work with you over time. That's what you want. And those investors require these three steps. First, get them interested. Now, I'll show you a classic video that I like to show that shows about this company. What are they trying to do? In getting interest of an investor, you want them to know that I know enough about my business. In getting interest, you want to demonstrate as an idea, whether it's a startup, an expansion, or a growth, that the commerce is very attractive. It's so attractive that the business model that I've deployed can unlock that value of that commerce and deliver amazing returns to you. And this is how I do it. Are you interested? What do you think? The guy is like, okay, I'm interested. That's a teaser. A lot of people don't know what a teaser is. You must always have a teaser. Teaser can be 10, 12 pages or 5 pages. A teaser document is very short, punchy, strong, sweet, and impactful. You want that person to come back. You know, it's about a lady's skirt, short enough to attract men, long enough to cover a decent part. That's what a teaser is. You want to get attraction and take enough value. So that when the person then comes back to say, okay, I like what I see. Interesting. Let me see your deck. You can't give a full deck first time to an investor. Like, because you're not giving you a chance to walk him through the thinking about how you're thinking about it. You then show him a full deck that has everything about the business model, the advantages, the competition, the market opportunity, the risk, the financial model, everything, which I'll show you very soon, that then tells the guy that you've talked about this business model from the commerce to the investment return. That is a proper deck. Then the last is, the guy, okay, I like this. He then says to you, how are you? Why are you going to win? Why you? Why should I back you? That's then your closing document. And the content of that document is, this is why you should back me. This is where you're now marrying your selling point, your USP, with his own value requirements. This is why I'm the best opportunity for you. This is why I have a high chance of delivering value. This is why I believe I will win. This is why I believe the opportunities that I'm pursuing are the best for your portfolio. This is why you're saying that this is why me. You see, if you have these three documents separately, and you see what it also helps you to do, you're able to weed those guys that are wasting your time, that are really serious. Because as they progress, you're able to confirm their interest. Let me share a great 2 minutes opening video with you.
Sure.
I hope I have it. Just.
And is this a teaser that you're about to share, a company's teaser?
Well, so a teaser is a marketing document. It's a video, but it could have been slides. So I think it's a slide that they turn into a video. And this company, so a teaser is the same thing as whether you're doing marketing for sale or pitching for investment. A teaser is say, come and talk to me. I'm the guy to talk to. Mm-hmm. How do I get that going? Let me show you something. And you know what you think.
Okay.
So, can you see? So can you see that video?
Yeah.
This company is saying to you, if data or market intelligence is what you want, I'm your guy. Okay? If that is what you want, I'm your guy. And that's what people should remember. You watch that video, you realize that's a tease. Not a classic tease. Give me enough information, show me enough what you can do. They gave you narrative of Africa, of everything, what's spending. Only one company brings you close to consumer, us. So if you want to get close to consumer, who do you call? You call us. That's a tease. They don't tell you how they're going to do for you. They don't tell you what they've done, or the various caveats, or the various things, or how much you pay, or how much money. They didn't tell you all that. A tease is a document that brings investors or your clients to you. So come and talk to me. Helps you screen time wasters from people that are looking for value. Helps you map your universe of partners. This is what I'm looking for. Before you then go into your full business model, your full deck, your full opportunity, your risk and everything. And that's extremely important. That was the presentation that was put in. The only thing there I just put music to it. Yeah. A deck. It is. Now, before we go on, so what would then be in a full deck? Everything on this bullet point, my experience, and I'll leave it to you. I think the things I mentioned earlier about everything, your markets, your achievements, your deck, your track. I mean, Friday will share this slide with you. They're your deck eventually. But I think so that I can ask, you can leave room for questions and what investors want to see. Again, let me summarize what I've said to you. Do not forget, know your market. Copper, gold, charcoal, diamond. Match your product to your market. 2, there is no standard deck. There's a deck for every investor type. Tweak your deck. There may be a fundamental LCM to all of them, but change it and tweak it. 3, know your investor, know your audience. Context is very important. When you are pitching at a conference or pitching in the investor's office, or they come to your own office, the way I'll pitch to you, you come to my office, not like I come to your office. Different approach entirely. Very important. Investors' needs, investor expectations. What are you looking for? How am I fit? You need to ask the right question. Understand clearly that at the end of it, investors want to see return. So show them the possibility they can make, the probability of that possibility, the risk, and how you are thinking about that risk, and why you are the best person to manage, to partner with. And equally important, understand at the end of it, you are trying to get a buy decision. A sale is a secondary activity. The primary activity is a buy decision. So it's all about the investor. And I think I'll pause for now for questions from Fadi or next thing.
Wow. That was so insightful. Thank you so much. I mean, we're already over an hour, just an hour into the entire session. It's 10 minutes past 6. Thank you so much, Dr. Toye. So I just want to cover again, know your market. There is no standard deck, and you need to know your investor and the context and basically the environment of which you're pitching. So if we make it a little bit more, how was my pitch? The first time that I met you compared to obviously the 1,000th time that you've heard me pitch consequently since then.
And I think you also speak about how your pitch has changed since working with you. So first time I met Fadi was on the phone. She called me up. So somebody did a WhatsApp integration partition. I said, hey, there's a girl called Fadi. Hey, yeah, call me. So when she picked the phone first time, she didn't do enough homework on me. She just went into, she didn't do homework on me. She went into, I'm Fadi, this is my background, this is my product. Classic error everybody losing money makes. But what happened that day was that Patricia knew that I liked marketplaces as an opportunity. I also knew I liked the gig economy. So despite Fade's first pitch to me for telling me on the phone not being what I wanted to hear, because she was selling gold in the gold market, I was interested. Every other person she had met before were not keen on marketplaces or keen on gig economy or had experience doing it. By the time Fade was talking to me, I'd done like at least 4 marketplaces. I knew gig economy. I tried to do that same model with a group of guys in Kenya. I tried to do a few things like that. So I was already there. Now, so the first pitch was all about Fade and what she was trying to do, and she could not even believe that. So she was just going through the emotions in her head. She was expecting another no, whatever. So I told her, interesting, let's talk again. I think then I had her attention. Okay, this guy is pretty fast. She had another call with me again. I said, you know what? I'm busy right now. I'm in Abeokuta. I hear you. ABC is what you're trying to do. I've done before. And I had her attention then. I had her attention because I knew what she was saying. Now, so understand this. Investor experience return. I'm already looking for what she had to offer me. Yeah. So I was an easy conversion for her. If she had not done enough work, I would have still, and that's what I did. And I'll tell, and I'll expose that today to you actually. Then the third time we then met, we then sat down for 2 hours. She then opened her mouth and I said, Madam, keep quiet. This is what your business is. This is how you're going to do it. I then lectured her about her business. But I researched her before she came to meet me. I knew she was the right person for that opportunity. She had the right background. She had the right experience. She had the right attitude. Because even though she came late third time, yes, she recovered very quickly. She kept her potential investor waiting for 20 minutes and then blamed traffic. Who does that? Only if I didn't grow, try that, but it's okay. We're here today, right? I still backed her. But recovered very quickly. She recovered very quickly and then tried to, which for me is very important. It's not about the errors or how many times you fail. It's how could you recover? Because life will throw a lot of stuff at you. So I told her, I'll do your deal. How much are you looking for? She said this. I said, no, you need more than that. So I told her how much she needed. I told her what valuation I'll give her. But between that time and when she got the money, I made her prepare a documentation at least 50 times and sent her to business plan sessions with my colleagues. There were nights where she was so frustrated, I would just ignore her. I don't have the time. I sent her back to my business school of, you will think right. You will be able to implement right. Because the money I'm giving you is not just money. I'm your partner. If it doesn't go right, I'm not going back anywhere. This must go right. So I'm going to work with you to ensure you're successful. So I spent time with her, teaching her how to think about the business, showing her competition. I took her on a conference once where I put her in a booth and she was presenting to everybody for like 2 days. She was in her heels. She went, only if I would go to a conference with heels and a boots and present for the whole day. Nobody told that following day to wear sneakers. Okay, you have borrowed your brain now. You will learn the hard way. I think over that 2 days, she would have pitched like at least 50, 100 people. She kept on getting better.
Yes.
How many people? About 50, 100 people.
The first day I pitched to easily, it was about 150 people in the space of about 4
hours. Over 2 days, by the way. So money was already confirmed. So I thought I'll give her money, but I'll make you to the best entrepreneur you can be. Then the business plan, the financial models. She spent times, nights, she and her team, Uzo's on this call, Uzo, sorry for all the late nights. They were there 2, 3 a.m. They worked on that business model, business plan, to the point where I felt we could execute. Most entrepreneurs are not patient enough to do the work. You see, I'm a long-term investor. I'm not looking to exit in 3 to 5 years. So don't come at me telling me that this is your valuation, where's my money, go to where you want to go to. I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to go down with you, I'm going to go all the way with you. I need to be sure that my risk is being the way both of us see risk the same way. Because if you don't see the risk the same way, you don't see the business the same way, it will not work. And it's a partnership, it's a long-term partnership. I need to get this. We spend a lot of time. By the time Fade started pitching in South, then after that, so let me show you. So I took her to South Africa. She pitched like 30 people. Europe. I took her across 3 continents. Actually, 3 continents. Europe,
America,
and America. Actually, so by now she's got to 4 continents: Latin America, North America, Europe, and Africa. She must have pitched over that 4 months to over 1,000 investors.
Definitely.
Before I put that money in. So I committed that money, but she herself started evolving. She became a better entrepreneur. She could think about things differently. She could build a team better. From saying that I don't want to build a team, now she has offices in 3 or 4 countries. From saying I don't want to partner, and Fade always came with a win-lose approach. She's a class entrepreneur. I know. Now she thinks win-win. Because a win-lose doesn't mean that you have to understand the other guy. My valuation, that's it. But the visibility, the exposure we got is now making, we have at least 3 interests at more than 10 times the last valuation that we did with Fade. 3, at least 3. Because business is now well positioned, it's growing fast enough, the fundamentals are right. People, you need to measure twice and cut once. You need to build your foundation. You don't build that foundation, that house will fail. A house on one will fail. So, for me, that's Fade's story. So Rashi tells you our first pitch was scrap, second was scrap, but she had pitched too many times to people that even with the crap pitch, she got a ticket to the table. But what she did right was she had cultivated a relationship when she didn't need one. And a lot of you guys don't do that. You must cultivate relationships because that's what open doors for you. Patricia knew I wanted a play like that. Yeah. And for that, she was already in. Every other person that she spoke to didn't even understand the play. So they could never understand no matter how good it was. They wanted something else. Maybe they wanted fintech or paytech or power tech. I wanted the marketplace for gig economy. And that's what it is. It's all about your homework, guys. The more homework you do on knowing your investor, let me tell you, I've pitched to investors who will tell me, Toye, because I know you and I like you, this is what I want to hear from you. So tell me. That is called relationship capital. I've spent time knowing them, investing in them. They only know me. Same I told Fade, I said, Fade, because Patricia said you are a rock star, you are good at what you do, and I've done my work on you. I've seen you have 1.5 billion hits on YouTube for your videos. I know you are competent. Tell me what I want to hear. I want to hear it. Tell me if I want to hear it. You see, you need to cultivate relationships before you need to exploit them. Most of you just want to exploit them when you meet them. It doesn't work. Money is investing is your parting with value, parting with money. You need to spend time to do that. And that's Fade's story.
Thank you. Well, at least it's good to know that I've evolved, and I definitely feel that I have. I've matured. I'm more analytical in my thinking. I'm a lot more patient, and I'm able to actually deduce people a lot quicker. And I think that is definitely with the experience. And I've learned how to iterate faster as well. So but especially in Lisbon at the Web Summit conference that we attended, it's the largest tech conference in Europe. And I noticed that in my first pitch, I was speaking to somebody for maybe about 15 minutes. They might ask a few questions. Then 2 minutes later, somebody else comes along and I have to pitch to them. And I'd make sure that whatever the first person asked me, whatever questions they felt that I left out of my pitch, I made sure that I included those answers to the next time that I was pitching to the second person. And then I'll try and make that pitch even shorter. So if it was 15 minutes the first time, I'll try and make it 10 minutes the next time. And then the second person will then ask me another set of questions, and then I'll answer them. But when the third person comes along, I'll make sure that I included the answers for that the second person also asked me. So by the time I got to my 50th person, there was no question that that wasn't answering within the space of 5 minutes. Because I'd perfected and practiced. So I've got a few questions here that I just want to quickly shoot out to you before we move over to the next section. So someone said, ideally a pitch deck, is there an amount of pages? How many pages should a pitch deck be? Because some people say it should be 20, it should be 50, it should be 100. How many pages before the investor gets bored?
Okay, so again, I'm going to tell that person, know your audience. I'm assuming when that person says pitch deck is saying a document that want to confirm interest, not to get interest. You see my point? Remember, I've opened this slide again. I said the first document you give out is to get interest. When Fade was going to Portugal, the largest investor conference, she and my colleague probably had this 30-page deck. I think you're all smoking crack. It's not going to work. You need a 10-pager, remember, or 7-pager. And overnight, they put a 7-pager to meet because you only get 5-10 minutes. What are you going to do with a 30-page presentation? A friend of mine once did a pitch where the investor walks in, sits down, and says, only have 5 minutes, pitch. The person says, pitch. Try running through the 30 pages in 5 minutes. You're killing yourself. A get interest document is a teaser. A teaser can be anywhere between 5 and 15 pages, no more, no less. Because remember, you are trying to get an interest. It's a tease. It's a tease. So say, talk to me. I know what I'm doing. I'm the guy. Let's talk some more. Don't bore me if you want to talk some more. Then if I'm interested, because let me tell you why. Most investors have a 5-minute attention span. Let me even tell you, when you're doing a presentation, you start losing most investors from slide 5. If you don't start making sense in your first 5 slides, I'm clicking on other things in my head. Mm-hmm. So make your documents strong enough. Now, people always confuse one thing. A deck that you're presenting is not the same as a deck that you're sending for them to read. You guys just make all sorts of mistakes. The one that you're presenting. So you give me a slide like this, I'm showing right now. I'm presenting it, but you then send it to me to read when you're not there. I'll just say you're not serious. A presentation is different if it's for the investor to read when you're not there, or when I'm presenting to that person. You have to first tailor it. Is what is the audience? What is the medium? Am I presenting it? Am I sending it? Who is the audience and what is the medium? That's very important. So a teaser for me is between 5 and 15 pages. I've done some at 3 pages short and some at 15, but not more than 15. A real deck, to confirm deck, depends on how much the investor wants to know. So when you do a teaser, the investor says, oh, I like what you have sent to me. You then say, now tell me about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah. Because I like what I hear, then tell me about C, D, E, F, G, H. You then tailor that deck to address those questions, and you then have an appendix, other questions he hasn't asked you. Just in case he asks you more questions, you have an appendix. So you answer, so because the whole idea of it is say, do you like this opportunity? Would you like to see more? And how will you know? I like this opportunity. Oh, I'm not interested. Oh, I like this. Oh, okay. Oh, I want to know about the risk. I want to know about the people, the team, the sector, the industry, all that. That's what you want to get from a teaser. What would you like to know more? So that's it. If you are pitching, if it's a 5 minutes window, hit it in the first 30 seconds and hit it in the last 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds is how you open it and how you close it. If it's a 30 minutes to 1 hour presentation, strike it at the beginning to say, why am I here? What will you get from listening to me? Why should you listen to me? Then you can get attention and focus. And always, whatever I do to your deck, always end well. Always summarize your opportunity, why you win, why you must back you, and how much they will make. But don't forget that an investor is not charity. You know? And a closing document, again, is about how we are going to partner, how we're going to deliver value together, why we will work. So it depends. I've done the second level deck, I think, when I'm confirming interest. I've done between 25 to 100 deck on the pages. It depends on the questions or the sector. If you're doing engineering project, for example, it may be more complex. If you're doing others and services, maybe less. So it depends. But focus on what you think the investor has asked you, or has asked you, or what you think he's going to ask you. Put other things in the appendix so that you can move between, and you can also then gauge what the investor wants to know more of or less of. And that's how you do it. And I hope I've answered that question.
Oh, definitely. I've got a message from Funlola on Instagram, and she says that she's absolutely loving the session. But she said a lot of people always tell her that her close family friends have told her that her idea is great. but they've told her not to share it with people in case they steal it. So she says, how am I protected if I share my teaser with an investor, since they have the funding to implement it themselves? How do I know that I'm protected and my idea isn't stolen if it's not?
Please tell Flora that even the family can still steal the idea, eh? So you're not protected. Let's be clear about that. Even the family can steal the idea, okay? But on a more serious note, an idea is not something you can, okay. First is, if you are pitching to a company that innovates or that implements, it's different. But let me answer that question in a very conceptual way, because I think a lot of people make that mistake. Strategy is not in what you do, guys. It's not how you do it. Have you seen how many people try to copy Coca-Cola and Pepsi and fail? It's very straightforward, is it not? It's Coke, it's this and sugar and water and mix it. Try and go and sell it. Strategy is not in what you do, it's in how you do it. I'll give you an example. 2 examples. A lot of people don't know this. The biggest competitor to Starbucks is Dunkin' Donuts. One sells coffee straight and put infrastructure. One uses donuts to bring people to come and buy coffee. They are both supposedly different businesses, but competing. Strategy is not in what you do, how you do it. If you don't have a strategy, so people will try and copy you, whether you start as an idea right now or when you roll out. You must have a strategy that is not just competitively stronger, comparatively also stronger. You must be able to have enough robustness in your architecture to be able to implement that business idea more than anybody else. And in a teaser, again, you are trying to, so even if the person goes all the way, you have to be comfortable and listen. No matter how many, not how big espionage is in business. People will take your business plan, your colleagues will leave you and try and start their own business. My boss once told me that, always wish people well, that they will try and do what you do. So the people know how good you are, right? There's a factor to execution. That's my long answer. Execution is extremely important. And that's what investors look out for. Why are you able to execute this business model? How are you able to execute more than anybody else? You have to demonstrate that. If I think you're the best person that can execute, I won't bother trying to copy you, because your strength is not my strength. My weakness is your strength. So focus on developing an execution ability of your strategy that anybody who doesn't like you will have to work with you. Develop a business, and that's a business model. Remember that I said again on this slide. This slide when I said, the taste is the idea formation, the commerce is what Funla is worried about. It's the business model, the network that protects that commerce. You want a business model such that it is centric to the team, to the opportunity, to the patent, to the whatever it is, that ensures that you're the best person to implement that business model. So that is the focus. Any idea that is great must be copied.
Absolutely.
Nature of life. Welcome it. In fact, competition, that's a very long, look at it this way, right? And you guys must know this narrative. It's a gazelle and a lion. I'm sure you've heard it before. Every day in Africa, a gazelle wakes up knowing that if I don't run faster than the biggest lion, or smaller than a lion, I will die. I'll be eaten today. Wake up in the morning like, if I don't run faster than the lion, they will eat me today. The same jungle, the lion wakes up and says, if I do not run faster than the slowest gazelle, I'll go hungry. So whether I'm a gazelle or I'm a lion, start running, because hunger is real. Okay? In a business, once you start that business, whether you're an innovator or a disruptor, you will have to evolve. Evolution is real. So saying that your idea will not be copied, or an investor or a staff, a colleague, is a waste of time. Focus on evolution and making it strong. That's your hunger. And that's what you need to do. You create a business model that demonstrates to that investor why you are the best person to implement that business model and why they must partner with you. And that's what you should tell Fulola.
I absolutely will. I think she's listening right now. Jumoke says, for a startup, in terms of team building a team and seeking investment, what if you employ people that you can afford? However, they're not up to the investors' expectations in terms of the quality of the team. What would you do as an investor then? What if you like the idea, but you don't think the team is strong enough to deploy it?
So you see, so I think she's answered her own question herself. If you don't think your team can execute, then what's the question? You know the answer already, right? Listen, a lot of times people try and hire the staff they can afford, not the staff that they need.
Right.
And while I get that, there's a lazy approach to starting up. So when you're starting up and you have limited capital, find people who will share your vision, who you can pay in some other way apart from not only money. Yeah. Either they believe in your vision, they are fellow journey travelers with you, or they are people who know that when this thing and if this thing works, they will get shares upside, or there are people who you let's say, you know what, work with me part-time until it works. Find a model to get the best talent to work with you when you're starting up so that you de-risk that part. An investor, remember what I said, it's about execution. And in execution, it's about the team. If your team is weak, then the investor will look at his ability to get his return based on the business model being embedded correctly by this team is limited. And you don't get the money. You and your investor, that's even a business risk issue. Your investor must be comfortable with that business risk, of which a team is part of it before his money comes. So the investor is saying that the team, unless you think that the team is good enough or will deliver it, you then convince your investor why you think the team can deliver. But if you also share that same view, there is no question. You get people to work with you, whether it's by offering equity of accounts, whether you're going to do work them part-time. A lot of startups right now do what they call part-time. In today's day and age, you can have a staff living in America and in Nigeria. You're doing a lot of work. I see my good friend Yemi Ajao here. I'm calling you out. Yemi is working in US. He's doing business in Nigeria with a partner. So he can't. When Yemi came to meet me, I'm going to call you out. Yemi, I'm sorry. Since you're on video, I have to call you out. Yemi's like, Toye, I can't afford to be paid in this business. I have another job in America, so I'm still. So that's it. But the partner allowed him to. I'm not getting paid yet. But Yemi is the best CFO for that business. That's comfortable. So sometimes you have to innovate. And I think in the post-COVID world, we look at with Zoom becoming the new Coca-Cola and water, with everything happening, you want that borderless and virtualist. You can have staff from Brazil working with you online real time. Network ecosystem, the future of work is about people working remotely, collaboratively for value. So talent is extremely important. How you manage your talent, how you access them, how you focus on them, how you empower them, how you deploy them is a part of your strategy. You must get that right. Otherwise, you will throw away any money you see.
Absolutely. I have another question here from Mariam Al-Hassan. She says, thank you so much for your presentation, sir. I would like to ask, what if you need to pitch to a panel? However, they're unknown individuals. So there are a lot of competitions that would just say, come and compete, come and present. And they'll just say to a panel of judges, but they don't tell you who those judges are. So how would then the third point that you made, know your investor? Of course, you know the environment that you're pitching in, but if you don't know the actual people, how would you engage at these unknown variables?
I don't think that scenario still exists in today's world where you don't know who's in the panel. I think you have to just find out. I think today's world, conferences, they announce their speakers ahead. Whoever is inviting you will tell you who you're pitching to. How can you just walk into a dark and say, come and pitch? Who am I pitching to? Who are they? I don't see that. I don't think that happens anymore nowadays. My advice would be, if I ever find myself in that scenario, or if you find that where She's tried to check who they are. She's tried, and can't find anything. 3 things I would do if I were her. 1, I'll never go first. Neither will I go last. I'll say, okay, I'll go in the middle. So I'll see them first, ask other people questions. I'll see the company that I'll first, that's situational awareness. Know your situation, that's 1. 2, I'll have 3 teasers, not full deck, 3 teasers. If I like the audience teaser, boom. If the audience is lukewarm teaser, boom. If one that is I don't really like, boom. So that whenever I find myself, I'm prepared. And I'll then have, you know what? I'm never get called. Then the last thing I really will do, I will get to know them while I'm speaking, before I start talking. Okay. Can I know you guys, please? Most times, entrepreneurs don't even ask us who we are, what we have done. Don't you understand? That's the biggest error. Why? I pitch with the guy you don't know you have done. So you come to pitch with me, and it's okay. Yes, without being cocky. Hi, thank you, this is who I am. Can I know a bit about you, what you've done? Ask that question. If we're going to be partners, we need to know each other. Yes. And that's what I'll do in my situation.
I definitely agree with that. I remember when we met face to face, I actually asked you what your experience was with gig economy and marketplace and why you were so interested. So there was definitely a good fit there. Timaya is asking, when cultivating relationships with potential partners, should you be casual or business oriented when in conversation?
I think it depends on the investor. I don't know. Do your homework on the investor. Some investors, I'll tell you, one of the fastest money I closed was in a bar. I was in suit. And this is a guy I'm looking forward to see in his office for like a year or 2. Just wouldn't see me. He was that busy. So I walked into this bar, and there the guy was drinking. You think I was going to let him go without? Nah. I went straight to him. Didn't say to him, hi, my name is Toye. No. I didn't hit him like that. We started drinking together first. Then I introduced myself after a while, and I pitched. I didn't have my computer in front of me or my paperwork in front of me, but I got my message across to him. And right there and then the guy said, Toye, let's do this, we're in. And I've also gone to meet an investor in a casual environment where I dress casually, and the guy was dressed formally as well. What a wrong expectation. There I was thinking that we're meeting in this area in a restaurant, and casually the guy is wearing suits, and he has a team, and he has a laptop, and he's taking notepad. You need to research your investor. Who is he? What does he do? How is he like? Keep asking people. When people tell me I'm going to see this investor, ask them, what has he done? Who has he invested before? What does he want? What does he know? You need to know what is he looking for. These are extremely important things that you need to know. So whether casual or not casual, again, remember this slide. Context is important for approach. Audience is important for content, and investor expectation is important for value alignment. If you don't know your audience, you can't prepare the right content. If you don't know the context of your engagement, you cannot develop the right approach. And if you don't have a proper understanding of the expectation, you can never be able to demonstrate that the value they are seeking for, you can provide.
Fantastic. I've got a few more questions that I think is quite interesting. Afoke wants to know, have you ever regretted not investing in a certain startup?
All the time. But I don't let that drive me. And it's okay. There's some startups you're going to have to miss. There's some deals you are going to have to miss. I've learned to trust my instinct. It does not make me the best investor that I'm going to get everything right. I'm going to get some wrong. But one of my great teachers taught me a while ago that it is not the deal that you don't do that keep you up at night. The ones you miss, like those great ones, they are nice beer parlor stories. Like, I should have money in Apple, I would have made money in Apple, all those nice stories. If you want to do that turn bad, that give you sleepless nights. Okay? So when I miss good deals, I said to myself, what I do? How did I miss that deal? Did I miss that deal on purpose? There are some deals that are just not for me. Mm-hmm. Maybe a great opportunity, but I'm a wrong investor. It does not make it right. It doesn't make it wrong either. And it does not even mean that that I've lost out. It's just not my deal. There is no need for me to do a deal where me and company are going to be fighting each other every day. It's a waste of time. Money is not my only utility. I want other value apart from money, apart from return. So that's one. When I don't do it, I don't do regrets. Regret and I are not friends. I don't do regrets. I have amnesia to regrets. I don't waste my time thinking about what I do. Again, once I don't do something, why did I miss that deal? Was it deliberate or was it not? Is it a type 1 error or a type 2? If it was deliberate, then I'm fine. Good luck. I mean, well, I wish them the best. If I miss because I missed something, I go and fix that thing so next time it doesn't happen again. And that's it for me. So yes, there are times when there are deals where I don't do and become successful.
I've actually got a message from Edele Odufuye. And he says, I was able to pitch to Dr. Akindele in less than 60 seconds at the entrance of a restroom 2 years ago. He was so impressed that we had the opportunity to pitch to his team in Platform Capital. I cherish this experience till eternity, and that is why I am here. Even though I wasn't able to raise money with him, I was able to raise $6 million elsewhere. But the time that I spent with Dr. Akindele and his team was a life-changing experience which enabled me and educated me and equipped me to be able to raise the funds. Thank you, Fadi and Dr. Akindele, for this event.
Billy, send my 10% though. This kind one is not enough. But on a more serious note, that's what about. I don't know why Dele didn't work out with Platform, but that's fine. And I'm happy it's successful. But one thing I tell people is, and please, I'm saying this very carefully before you guys quote me wrongly. Integrity is nice. It's a nice buzzword.
Yes.
I've come to learn integrity is not absolute. It's relative. It's not black and white, it's gray. So while we all strive to be the best person we can be, we do everything to receive. I believe in authenticity. Mm-hmm. I need to know who you are. I need to know how you think. Because it's not easy. I've seen people, it's not easy when you see poverty, I ask that person to walk a straight line.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging anybody, and I'm not saying integrity it's a great value to have. But I prefer authenticity because I want to know who you are. So any areas where you're lacking, I can work with you on it. Any areas where you are strong, I can help you develop it. And you have to know who I am. I am so clear about who I am as an investor, as a human being, that even if we don't do your deal, you will not. My commitment to myself is that I will not rub you the wrong way if I can. Now, I cannot do my best of trying to leave the best impression with you. You can choose to see me as a bastard anyway, as a bastard. Okay, that's fine. I know I've tried my best. I can sleep all night. So Dele's experience and I meeting and pitching is comforting to hear, but that is what we do here. This is why I made the transition to where I am to say, I will not just invest in people. I will not just invest capital in people. I will invest in people because we are strong at the weakest link. We need to be an army. We need to be on the march. This is our time. We are 1.1 billion people on the continent playing catch up. We need everything. We need to consume food, power, shoe, tech, everything. And we will all be different. But in our difference lies our strength. We can all be successful. Your success and mine are not correlated. And that's why supporting anybody, any idea, once I believe I'm the best person for it, I'll do it. Yeah. If I'm not the best for it, and I can't do it. That's the nature of life. And I won't waste your time. I don't waste people's time. So that is about investors. You have to know your, so if you want to speak to me, know what I am. I've tried too many deals in my lifetime so much that I have a fair idea of what I want within the first 30 seconds. I like it, I don't like it, I'll tell you. It's a tease. You hit me with a nice thing, I want to hear more. Let's do this. Otherwise, like I told you, I had a session on Monday where I said, I've sold sand, I've sold stone gun. Today I told theodolite. I did a cyber cafe. I did bureau de change. I've done money lending. I've done agric. I've done shoe. I've done technology. I've done satellite. I've done mobile phone. I've done software business. I've done fintech. I've done power. I've done agri. I have a curious mind. My curiosity drives me. And because I'm curious, I fail a lot. And I celebrate my failure. I laugh at myself when I fail. I laugh at myself because I know that it reminds me of my humanity, that I'm not special. But my failing is my knowledge. Because the more I fail, the more I know. And the more I know, the more I succeed. And that's why I know that my journey will be rich. So I'm not afraid to try. I'm not afraid to lose money. However, I'm afraid to lose myself. The money does not define me. And that's what I am. So thanks you, Dylan.
I remember when, I guess I'll talk about this a little bit later on. Let me go through a few more comments. Shino and Emeka, they kind of have a couple of questions that are similar, so I'm kind of going to merge it into one. They're basically asking, number one, if you've never pitched before and you've got an idea, do you have any practical, maybe books or websites that you can recommend so people can read and have a practical pitching sessions, or like where they can read or learn a bit more? Is there anything that maybe you've used or you can recommend?
Guys, I can tell you a million books, but I don't think they will help you. They'll cause confuse you more. So start pitching to your family, your friends. Just start pitching, start learning. Dry run. Start pitching. Call your two friends, pitch with them. Let them laugh at you. In fact, they don't laugh at you, never learn. Start pitching. They don't disappoint. Start pitching. There is no, you get this slide from Fade. You see what you prepare a document, but at the end you have to try. No matter how well you prepare, you have to take that first jump. You know, nobody could learn how to drive a car unless you drive a car.
Yeah.
Read and prepare and do 3D simulation, all you like. You're gonna have to ride that car. So just try. There are books, and I'll share some with Ms. Ogoro. There are a lot of books on how to pitch, a lot of websites. I don't find them useful. For me, I find them interesting. I just find that the best teacher is failure or failing. The best teacher is experience. The best teacher is yourself. I prepare for everything like that's the only thing I have. I prepare, I'm intense. I'm an intense person. If you know me very well, I do not go into anything that I've not thought about 100%. I dry run. Till today, any time I want to speak, whether I present, I will have done at least 100 dry runs within 2 days. Mentally, now I've learned it so well I can dry run in my head. Before I learned it, my dry, I do it in front of the mirror. I'll teach you a few tricks I learned. Stand in front of the mirror and pitch to yourself. You will so laugh at yourself. All your fun mannerisms, what you are saying. Stand in front of the mirror and pitch to yourself. You hear yourself and you sound, this doesn't sound right. This sound right. Mirror dry run works for all the time. I learned how to pitch using a mirror. Second, pitch to your friends and family. Third, pitch to strangers. What happened? They'll laugh at you and you don't see them again. But the more you do it, the better you get.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm just making notes on the group so people will remember this if they just want to take their own, take notes. So I have got a broader question from Babatunde. He says he would love to hear your take on how to mitigate against the risk brought by the government in doing business in Nigeria as an entrepreneur. What advice would you give, or what's your take on it?
Again, this risk question. My view of risk, right? And again, I'm no authority in risk. I'm no authority in finance. So please, this is just my view. Risk mitigation is a nice buzzword, right? It's how can you mitigate what is binary, 0 or 1? Tell me. When risk happens, Tyson has a popular statement. He says that every boxer has a plan until before he gets to the ring, until the first punch hits your face and everything leaves the door. You have to read. Every boxer has a plan. I'm going to dodge. Then you get hit, but wow, okay, welcome, reality. See, when risk crystallizes, all your mitigation will disappear. Only risk management works. So I believe in risk framework. I believe in risk and identify those risks. First, this is my view of risk. I believe in risk identification. What can go wrong? I put a whiteboard and write everything that can go wrong. What can go wrong? Everything can go wrong. I write it all down. 2, when it goes wrong, what will I do? Okay. 3, can I reduce this risk? If I can, or can I remove it? If you can, I'll remove it. Can I reduce the chance? It does not mean it cannot go wrong. Then that means that risk still exists. The likelihood may be lower, but it exists. Who would have thought the world could shut down? A doomsday scenario. How do you prepare for that? You don't. So when risk happens, let me give you an example. When the world shut down and people said, wow, what's going to happen? And people are reacting. I've worked 300%, 3 times the amount of work I did before COVID-19, during COVID-19. I've worked 3 times as hard. How can you, in a global crisis, a once-in-a-lifetime crisis, work at the same pace or less than you're working? You work 3 times hard so that you can achieve the same level of results.
Yeah.
This is about you understanding it, preparing for it. Listen, let me tell you this. Successful people and people that fail, they have both have one thing in common. Things always happen. Risk crystallized in both sides. Failures, successes, they always get risk crystallizing. The difference though is that people who are successful do things faster. They respond very quickly, and they have amnesia. People who fail, like, what happened? What can we do? They spend time. Your response time to risk is your biggest mitigant or biggest approach at solving risk. When it crystallizes, I have a framework. If this happens, I can do X, Y, Z. I can do X, Y, Z. When it happens, most likely your head is gone. You have to respond in one direction. And even when you make the wrong decision, don't worry, it gets corrected over time. But my point is, you cannot mitigate risk. You can manage risk. Identify them. Put in place strategies that will help you manage them and develop results. So when people then ask me that question about risk, I'm like, Nigerian risk. How are you going to mitigate Nigerian risk? You're in Nigeria. One thing you're sure, everything, but forget Nigeria, Africa. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. That's my mindset. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So I'm always ready for everything going wrong. Whether it's money banks collapsing, whether it's electricity not happening, whether it's theft, whether it's anything, I'm ready for it. Now, I then also know that I have a mentality of that when it happens, I will find a solution, or I'll find who has a solution for me. Yeah. You cannot mitigate it. You can plan for it, you can prepare for it. Example, in Nigeria, don't have just one, in your business model, just don't have one track for implementation, for execution. Have multiple channels, multiple approaches for execution. So that if one fails, another one can happen. Don't say, I want to do e-commerce, and I want to do e-commerce by, you have to order online, and I'll get bikes to deliver to you. What if there's no petrol, and there's scarcity in Nigeria, and can't buy petrol? There are bicycles now. There are a lot of things. You must just have it in your head. In Nigeria, in Africa, and I've seen everywhere. Guess what? In around the world, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So with that mindset, you start building your business model, starting from the fundamentals. And you then build one that gives you the chance to pivot. The critical thing in a business model is the ability to pivot when risk happens. Risk will slowly crystallize. Teams will fall apart. Capital will dry up. Government policies will change. Technology may not work. Things will happen. How can I pivot my business model into the next thing that can work when risk crystallizes? And that's my answer to that.
So we just have 2 more, and then we'll move on to the next segment.
5 more minutes.
Pardon?
5 more minutes.
I know. Well, 10. Okay, quick ones then. So let me see. Fumilayo or Conta says, one for me, one for you, actually. So Dr. Toye, in your journey as an investor, are there times where you felt so overwhelmed by all the work? And how do you deal with all this pressure, working in different time zones? How do you stay on top of everything?
The work of good work is more work. I think that first is I like to work. I'm a workaholic, and that's fine. I find that a lot of people usually say, "I'll work now. I'll take a break now." Doesn't make sense for me. I work and play at the same time. So for me, work-life balance is working and living at the same time, not just working. Because if you're an entrepreneur, how do you then take time off your work for 1 month? Mm-hmm. Before you come back, it's in Nigeria. You come back and meet COVID. You're just dead. But who knows? So work-life for me is working and living at the same time, side by side. Mm. I seek to balance my life by doing the things that are important to me. By the way, work is important to me. But I also believe in what I call spiritual renewal. I read a lot. I watch TV a lot. I network a lot. I play a lot. I stay in contact with people that are dear to me, my friends, my family. At the same time, you find time every 1 or 2 hours in a day. You steal time and do something you like to do. No matter how busy you get, you can find 1 or 2 hours in a day to do something. No matter how busy you get on a trip, you can find one day to do something. No matter how busy you get, you can find one day to think about yourself and think about what's important to you. The rest, you can just figure it out. There is no playbook for this thing. I think if you love what you do, like I love what I do, it also helps. It helps, and you're able to also then achieve most of the things you want to achieve. And so that's it for me. I'm a firm believer that if you find value in if you derive value in what you do, if you derive passion in what you do, if you derive purpose is extremely important in what you do. I think that ability to balance it is easier than pressure. Pressure is real. It was tough. Like I said, I've worked 3 times as hard as I've working for the last 25 years of my career. And it doesn't mean that I've worked longer because only 24 hours in a day. But man, I've had to do more than my own work. I've had to ensure that people I work with are doing their own work. I've had to ensure that even my clients are doing their work. I've had to worry and carry other people's can just to make sure that this thing keeps going. Because at the end of it, only the victors tell the story of war. Only those that survive tell how we survived. That's it. When you are dead, you can't tell your story.
So for me, asked me a question. It's very simple. To be honest, I'm going to add a bit more to your answer. Fumilayo, Dr. Toye is a workaholic who doesn't sleep. It's that simple. He's never overwhelmed. If he doesn't show it. He just doesn't sleep. He just keeps working. He's a soldier.
So I get overwhelmed, Fumilayo. So, but what I do when I get overwhelmed, I go to my default mode. What's my default mode? I go and do the things that I really love doing outside work. Before I started working, I had a life. What do I like to do? I watch TV, I read a book, I go out and meet people. You will find me walking the streets of places you not believe in Lagos, from Idioro to Agege to anywhere, just meeting people. I love to stay connected with nature and energy. When I get overwhelmed, I need my energy recharged, and I go right to where industry is happening, where people are living. Because in life, I get my generation. So that's what I do. Now, for even you didn't know that. I've told them you don't know.
I really didn't know that because I don't know what you do for fun other than work. So Fumilayo says that you told the story of how there were a lot of sleepless nights when we were working on our business plan and financial models. She wants to know how did I deal with those overwhelming moments? Secretly, I'm also a little bit of a workaholic. My team would also let you know that I hardly sleep. If you send me an email at 4 a.m., at 4:15, you'll have a response. So I never found it overwhelming. I just found it necessary. It was a necessary evil that needed to be done. There's a lot of books that I've also read that what most people don't realize is the difference between failure and people that are successful is just how hard you work. If you outwork people, you're more likely to be successful. So you can be super talented, but if you're lazy, you're probably not going to achieve as much success as somebody who's just average, but is a grinder, is a hard worker. So for me, it was just the hustle. I didn't have any, I never really saw it as overwhelming. I just saw it as, okay, we need to get this done because there's an end goal. Because if I didn't get that done, I wasn't going to get the investment money. And if I don't get the investment money, I wouldn't have an application. And if I didn't have an app, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have hired a team of about 15 people in 3 countries. And I wouldn't be here talking to you guys about entrepreneurship because I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. So it's a means to an end, and you just have to do it. Last question before we quickly round up from Victor. He wants to know, when somebody has given a pitch and they're not getting feedback, they're not getting called back, how do you know where the particular pitch failed? So is it maybe you were speaking to the wrong investor, or a bad pitch, or a defective teaser? How would you know? I would answer this, and then you can also follow up. I would say got at least, in 1 year before I met Dr. Toye, I got at least 30 no's when I was pitching. I pitched to everybody, CC Hub, VC for Africa, everybody I've been pitching to. And I would always go back. I'll either send them an email, or at the end of the session, if you don't get an immediate, if you're not being told whether they like your pitch immediately, I would go and ask the judges or the host or whatever, okay, what could I have done better? What sector have you invested in previously? So I don't even know, maybe they're they're into the agri sector, and meanwhile I'm pitching them a gig economy marketplace. So it was a bad fit. So I always try and find out where exactly I speak to them, and I find out where exactly could I have improved, and then I iterate, analyze, and I implement it into my next pitch session. So that's the advice that I would give you. Dr. Toye, do you want to add anything to that quickly?
You're spot on.
Okay. Thank you very much. So just before we wrap up, I want to just find out, you personally, we've talked about what should be in a pitch deck and how to pitch. What would you personally suggest? What do you look for when you're pitching? And I know, because you whether it's $10 that they want or $10 billion, you can find a way to raise it. Whether it's agriculture, or it's mining, or it's oil and gas, or it's, you can invest in it. You're very broad. There's no sector that you're really specific to. So since you get so many people coming up to you, so many entrepreneurs, in the first 30 seconds, what are you looking out for to know if you're interested or not when somebody's pitching? What do you look out for as an investor? 5
things. First, conviction and confidence. Are you sure what you're talking about? Are you convinced? Conviction and confidence is extremely important to me. Second thing, clarity of the opportunity. Are you able to demonstrate the opportunity? Can I hear it clearly so I know what you're trying to sell? Are you explaining the commerce to me in a way where I think you understand what you're saying? A lot of times, people don't even understand what they're selling. They're not telling you what they think you want to hear, or whatever it is. Are you demonstrating enough clarity in communicating what the opportunity is and what your value is? That's 3. So that's 2. 3, passion. Can I feel that this person, can I want to back a guy that this must work, this must work, this must work. Doesn't work, that's nothing. Nothing I'm going back to. If you are hedging your bets, I'm not your guy. Because that means that you have something you're going to do, it doesn't work. Passion. Hunger. Your hunger will make you go out every day. Listen, they say they're going to go die in the jungle. Let it be a lion that kills you, not a rat. Come on. A guy who will say, this jungle, there is money there. I'm going to go and if the money is in the mouth of the lion, me and lion will die here today. That hunger is what will separate you when things go tough, when life happens, when business models don't work. Passion is important. Passion that gives you the ability, but passion fuels it. But hunger gives you the ability to just go and do whatever you need to do to survive. And in the first 30 seconds, 1 minute, I'm looking for that. Passion, hunger, clarity, conviction. And what's the opportunity?
You said conviction, confidence, clarity, passion, and hunger, yeah. Fantastic.
Don't get me wrong. That's for when you're pitching to me. Is after I like all this. Because like I said earlier, a great business model with the wrong hands is a bad business. An average business model with a great team and a great entrepreneur is a great business. So for me, it's about the entrepreneur and the team first. If I see that, then we can help you. Because as an investor, my job is not just to give you money. It's also to help you build your business, help you grow. So if I have the team, the right team, with the right team, we can do anything. So I backed people with zero. I mean, they had zero. Yeah. But they were hungry. I could see it in their eyes that these guys they believe they can take on the world, they can own the world, and they are going to die trying. They were passionate, they were relentless, they kept on coming back to me. They will give them, I mean, I backed a group of very smart, we were backing them actually. South Africans. Xander. Is Xander on? I think Xander is on.
Let me see. Huh? Merge, the app, merge.
I mean, 21-year-old, 22-year-old guys in South Africa, you could just feel the hunger for success in their eyes. You could feel the passion. You could see they understood what there was not a finished article, but I could see that these guys would do whatever it takes to innovate and finish. You know, and it's not about whether, I mean, it's not about, they don't have a university degree, but they don't need to have a university degree. Education is not about school. It's about your mind. How educated is your mind? How do you know your stuff? Education is about what you know, what your skill set, kind of person you are, how you communicate it, how you are evolving, how you are learning, how you are growing. In fact, I dare say the more school you go to, the less educated you are, you know, but who knows about this thing? I need to know that. And that's very important to me. So all the other things that you will hear about on business model, financial, that's important. But the first 1 minute, I'm feeling those 5 things if I know that I'm doing this deal or not.
Awesome. And I think that would bring us to the end of our session because it's 7 minutes past 7. Well, we said we were going to wrap up with you anyways at 7 o'clock. I'm sure you've got like 50 missed calls on your phones and you've got to call America and Australia and Russia. But before you go, I just personally want to once again thank you so much for giving us your time and this invaluable wealth of information and sharing it with us. And people have, a lot of people have asked the same question, which is, okay, now that we know how to pitch, where do we find you investors? Like, is there a bar that you guys hang out? Or where do they find investors? I would always say LinkedIn is a great place to start. All of you in the Zoom chat, you're all probably on Instagram. If you need to find an investor, I strongly advise you create a LinkedIn profile. There is no investor that I know that isn't on LinkedIn. So I'd always advise LinkedIn is a great start. Dr. Toye, would you have any, is there a bar that you guys hang out, or is there a club or something that we can all join?
I avoid hanging out with other investors because life is tough enough without talking about money all the time. I don't know, there may be, but I've always found LinkedIn very useful, like I said, and I've always found the internet a great tool. Listen, I will advise you, research online, cold call, send emails. What's happening? They will say no. I love hearing no's. For me, no means let's talk. I mean, there's a beauty in no, right? Just cold call, check them out, talk to your friends, go to conferences, go to look at LinkedIn, search. Listen, the world is out there. It's for all of us. Let's go get it, guys.
So now that you've gotten to this stage in your life where you've seen, I wouldn't say seen it all and done it all, but in terms of
I'm just starting. Let's not be confused about this for anybody else. I'm not anywhere near the finished article. I'm not even near my peak. I'm hungrier than I was, and I'm just 18 years old, by the way, let's be clear. I'm 18. I'm hungry. Listen, the next 30 years, half of the world's working population will be African. Let's be clear where I'm at in my life right now. I'll not be 80 yet, okay? The next 30 years, half of the world's population will be African. In the next 30 years, half of the world's food land will be in Africa. In the next 30 years, South Africa is the resource capital of the world. We have the youngest population. We have the technology population. We have every single thing. Where am I going? I'm just getting started. We are going to own this world. Africa rising. Watch. And I'm going to be special.
You've done a lot. You've had a major impact in the finance and investment world. So I see that you became a lecturer. Tell us about that and about Diatom Impact. And I know you're also a philanthropist. So what is your goal? Because I know it also ties in with entrepreneurship as well. So could you please part with us on those words?
So I think the stage, so I was an engineer first, and I did engineering for 2 years, did banking for about 8, 9 years, did private equity. So 25 years I've done a lot of work. I've always realized that the biggest opportunity is, I mean, they said if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go farther, you go together. So I'm as strong as my ecosystem. So first, me going back to lecture at the University of Lagos is to create an army of people who think alike. Is to create an army of people. I've gone to any of the top Ivy League schools or all the top business schools in Nigeria to teach. I wanted to go to a place where I could get them to open their mind and fresh mind, and they will not get access to guys like us normally. So creating a crop of people who believe that, you see, there is a lot of stigma to failure in Nigeria and Africa. We think that failure is a bad. Failure is a great thing. Fail and fail quickly. You know, open their minds, expose them. Create, like us 59,000 students. That's 59,000 potential future leaders every year being churned out. What am I doing? Not impacting that ecosystem. The more guys like me, you, and that go to University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, all these schools, we need to open our mind, unlock the mind. The mind is the largest jail in the world. Like, if you take all the minds and lock them together, the mind is the largest jail, and the graveyard is the biggest ideas bank. People put that with the graveyard. So for me, my passion is in imparting knowledge in not just now and the future leaders who can then create the Nigeria or Africa of their dreams. I believe the beautiful ones have been born. I read the book I'm going, the beautiful have been born, and they are beautiful. They are beautiful in their attitude to life. They are beautiful in their use of technology. I mean, we have kids writing code at age 7, 9, 8, 10. They're entrepreneurial. They are hungry. They just need exposure. So my passion is to expose the biggest asset we have on the continent, our young people. So education is a big thing for me. Investing in it, supporting it, enabling it. And Datum Impact is the vehicle we are using to unlock entrepreneurship, because in entrepreneurship comes the ability to create a better environment to solve and innovate and disrupt. Education, because when we educate our people, we open minds, we create a better world. And women empowerment. Listen, women empowerment for me is a no-brainer. It's a great business. The future is feminine. There are more women entrepreneurs coming than men entrepreneurs coming. There are more men in school than men. So that means that in the future, that half of the world population will be more women. So why am I not getting on the early? So gender equality, I'm big on it. Entrepreneurship, because for me, that ecosystem will create opportunities for us to make a lot of money. And education are the three things we're big about. And at Datum Impact, we're putting our money, we're putting our expertise, we're putting our network into creating a nexus where education meets entrepreneurship, meets gender equality or empowerment, such that the Africa of my dreams, the Africa of my future, the Africa of my kids, the one that I'm proud of, that we helped in a small way to help create.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I've just been reading all the messages in the group in the chat, and people are just saying that this session has been so explosive. Ochiba says, dear doctor, dear sir, thanks a million for this opportunity to tap from your wealth of experience. Ifeoluwa Banjo, thank you so much. Jumoke, thank you, Dr. Olaide, thank you, Fadi and Dr. Akintoye. God bless you both. Fade, this platform is amazing. G5, thank you, sir. Mike Din, thank you, sir. Everybody's thanking you. Infinix says, thanks, doctor. Emeka says, your time is so valuable. We really appreciate you. Adenike says, you're an inspiration to us all. Josh Fernandez says, this was an atomic session. Evelyn from Kenya says, thank you so much. This is so powerful. Ogechi says, this session was awesome. So much knowledge. Abdullah Ahmed is laughing at you though. He says, Daddy, you said you're 18. Everybody's like, yes, they love Africa Rising. Olaniyo, this is mind-blowing. Precious, yes, the future is female. Kalu is blown away. Dale wants to do it again. They said, when can you come on again? When can we have a one-on-one with you? Abdullah says, this is a mini MBA on entrepreneurship. We are so grateful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm hoping that maybe if they do extend Corona, we may have to have a part 2 of this session, because this was just, this is not even scratching the surface. This is just saying hello to Dr. Toye. If you spend 5 hours with him, your life will be changed. That's all you need. I don't even think you need that much. 2 or 3 hours and your life will definitely be changed. You will walk away enriched with information. You will see businesses in a different way, and you will believe in your idea tenfold. And however, if it's not a good idea, you will also know very quickly, because he will let you know, he would dissect your business model instantly, letting you know if it was viable or not. So Dr. Toye, thank you so much for your time once again, and have a good evening. I'm going to now switch back to my screen, and we'll just say bye to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so where am I? I'm still adding people. Can you guys see me? Right, so where was I talking? Oh gosh, I'm gonna make my skin. Am I full screen? Can you guys see me? Can you leave it in the chat if you guys can see my full screen? Yes, we can see you. Great, okay. So I want to just use this opportunity to thank everybody once again who has been, who've stayed with us throughout the entire session. We're running about 20 minutes over time. I just want to take the next 5 minutes to just wrap up, and then hopefully we'll see you here again tomorrow for our 4th masterclass. So day 1, if you've just joined us and you have no clue what's going on here, well, I'm sure you would, because you've registered to get the link. So this is Entrepreneurship 101. Every day we go through a variety of different topics that I believe would be beneficial for any entrepreneur that wants to start a business or wants to grow their business. So day 1, we had talked about business plans, business model, your route to market, your vision, your mission, the importance of branding. Day 2, we spoke about starting with 0, how you can actually access finance. Day 3, which is today, it's all about pitching. Once you figured out how you're going to get finance, who you're going to pitch to, and how you're going to get that money. Then once you've hopefully gotten that money, day 4, which is tomorrow, we're going to talk about, it's called Work It Out. And in Work It Out session, we're going to talk about hiring a team. We're going to talk about, as an entrepreneur, you might not have the funds to hire a team. Maybe you're still pitching, but you want to add, increase the membership, the members of your team, because maybe there's a skill set that you're lacking. So what do you do when, let's say you want to start a tech company, but you don't know how to code? What do you do then? How do you hire somebody? Or what do you do if you don't have the money to hire that person? Do you then give away equity in your business? So we're going to cover things like that. Then also, there's a lot of people who, you might have a full-time job. You might be a banker, but maybe you're really passionate about baking. And you want to start up your own side business or your hustle. So at what point do you pivot from a full-time job to focus in full-time as an entrepreneur on your business? Do you need to just do both of them? What works for you? So we'll be covering career pivoting, workplace issues that you may face. So if you're, workplace harassment, if you're going to start your own company and you're going to hire your own team, what policies you need to put in place to make sure that you're not going to fall into any trouble with legally. Then we also have the final day on Friday is all about the legalities. We call it stay in check. So you want to know about paying your taxes, accounting, registering your business. What's the difference between a business name and a limited liability company? Do you need it to be a limited liability company? Do you need to be, or a business? Or so what exactly the difference is, what's going to work for you. So that is the 5 days, the entire 5 days. Now, if you've joined us only for today, never mind, because I'm such a nice person that every single masterclass that we do Monday through to Friday, we're actually going to send all the minutes of each masterclass and all the slides. We're going to send it to you over the weekend. So of course the masterclass is from Monday to Friday. So by Saturday, latest Sunday, in your email, that's why we wanted you to register via email, we're now going to send all the slides to you. And then of course, I'm actually still speaking to the speakers. They're going to give me some books and some links that we're also going to share with you. Now, if you look in the notes, Uzo, who works with me, she's my head of communications, I think I've sent her a YouTube channel, a YouTube page. Now that YouTube shows, when I was in San Francisco with Dr. Toye in America, I had to pitch to a panel of about 4 or 5 people. And one of them included a gentleman called Jack Russo, who was one of the original investors in Apple. So he knows Steve Jobs and everything. He's a very, very well-known lawyer in America. So I had to pitch with about 5 different companies from all over Africa. Someone from South Africa, someone from Kenya, someone from Ghana, and I think another person from Nigeria as well. So there was about 5 or 6 of us all pitching. So I've actually sent you that video to watch all 5, 6 of us pitching. And I was one of the first I think the video is about a 2 or 3 hour video, but if you just scroll on the YouTube link, we'll be sharing that with you. You actually get to watch, and everybody had 10 minutes each. So you actually get to watch my 10-minute pitch, which was done, I believe, on the 4th or the 6th of December, 2019. So not that long ago at all. So that, if you're talking about how to perfect a pitch, I'm not going to talk to you about something that I haven't done myself. So that's why I'm sharing that link with you, so that you will know. Kale says, where's the link? So the videos, as I was saying, on the weekend, over the weekend, we are currently collating all the slides, all the links, all the books that people are recommending, all the minutes. So we're putting everything together, and that's going to be shared with you on Saturday. We're going to email you the minutes of all the sessions, Monday through to Friday. You will get that in your inbox on Saturday. So have you guys found this session useful? Is there any questions that you have for me? It's now 7:22. So I say we can be here for another 8 minutes till 7:30 before I run off. If there's any questions at all, please put it right now in the comment section. I'm looking, and so can we have a WhatsApp group to keep the connection necessary, update on all? Okay, so right now we only asked everybody for their email addresses, so we don't have WhatsApp. What I will also suggest is, at the end of this session, we are going to send a survey to you via email. It's from SurveyMonkey. So please just also give your responses if you have any feedback. So if you want us to start a WhatsApp group, you want to start a mentorship group. A few people have sent me messages that they actually want to have one-on-one sessions with me. So I don't mind doing that as well. So that's something that I'm thinking of doing. Anybody who's registered for this masterclass, I'm willing to actually have like a 15-20 minute one-on-one Zoom session with you. So you can then talk to me about any entrepreneurship or any life issues that you may have that you just want to address. What else? Pitching is not once and for all. I'm not sure what that means. Ngozi says, please, I would like to be trained and I need to grow. Adefemi says, this is what we pay thousands of dollars for. Exactly. Abdullah, Fade, can you adopt me as a mentee? I really want to learn from you. Abdullah, please put that in the SurveyMonkey when you get to the email at the end of this session. So by 8 o'clock, check your emails. You will have an email from us. Please remember again, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we're gonna have amazing guest speakers. So I always share it with you guys first because you've been patient enough. So you get this teaser bit of information. The people that we have tomorrow are people, well, one person is one of my really good friends and you will definitely know her. And another is an entrepreneur that I really look up to. So the entrepreneur, his name is Onyeka Akuma. He is the CEO of Farm Crowdy. Google them. So he is basically an entrepreneur like myself, where he started with a team of him and maybe a co-founder, and they've now grown to a huge team. So I want to talk to him about how he pivoted from his previous career to his current career, and then what issues he's faced in hiring staff. When do you hire a HR manager? When do you hire an accountant? When do you hire a PA? When do you grow your team? So that's one of the things that we'll be talking to him about. Then, of course, I'm also going to have one of my really good friends. Her name is Eku Edewo. Do you guys know Eku? I'm sure you do. So what people don't realize is that Eku is a model, an actress, a presenter, but she actually started off as a producer. And now she's gone back to production. So a lot of TV commercials that you see on TV, Access Bank and a few other banks, Eku was the producer. She's done a couple of movies that she's produced. So now how do you pivot your career when everybody knows you as Eku the model and the presenter and the actress, but when you're a producer, you're running around helping other people out on set. So how do you pivot from being praised and getting fans to having to serve other people? How do you pivot from being a model to being a producer and having serious meetings with CEOs of companies? So these are all the things that we'll be talking about tomorrow. Especially a lot of people asked about team building. If you have any questions about team, about hiring, and also the importance of upskilling yourself, why you should keep on learning, all of that is going to be spoken about tomorrow. So Halima says, I have not been getting the survey. Okay, we'll double check that, Halima. It's called Survey Monkey. So check your email from Survey Monkey. See if you've received an email from them. Remember, every day around 3 o'clock, we will be sending you the new link. So the link that you use to log in today and the password, it's going to be different for tomorrow's session. If you are interested and if you love what you've heard so far, please go ahead and refer us to a friend. What I mean by that is email info@bookingsafrica.com with the subject Entrepreneurship 101. So that way I know that you're interested in applying or they're interested in coming to this session. Kayla says your generosity is appreciated. Thank you so much, Kayla. Morenike, how can we register for a one-on-one session with you? So when you get the survey, there's a segment where you can write, do you have any other comments? So if you have any other comments, then feel free to say, I'm requesting a one-on-one session with Fede, and we will then contact you and schedule that. Dodakwa wants to know if I have a co-founder. Nope, it's just me, honey. And then Ungosi says, yay, Farm Crowdy. Ifeoluwa says, yay. Merit says, yes, Eku. Precious says, yes, Eku, that's great. Jumake, are you making money from Bookings Africa or at least achieving profitability? Profitability, we're not profitable just yet, but yes, we are making revenue. So remember, Bookings Africa officially launched around October, November. So I've got like 18 months to break even. But within that time frame, between when with our website went live in April to now, we've actually already broken even in Nigeria. We're operating in South Africa and Kenya. So we aim to break even in those countries within 18 months as well. Did you become this passionate about Bookings Africa after meeting Dr. Toye, or were you as passionate before you met him? I'm passionate about everything. If I like something, I go all the way in doing it. I don't believe in doing halves, and I'm sure my staff, my team who were here, they would also attest to that. When I was training my South African and Kenyan team, I flew them into Nigeria for a 1-week induction session. And I remember one day I made them work 24 hours with no sleep. Yeah. We literally got to the office on a Sunday at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and we left Monday morning at 9 a.m. And I told everybody, go home, have a shower, get something to eat, and be back in the office by 1 p.m. So we literally had like a 3-hour break, and we were back in the office working. Because if I'm going to work that hard, I need to know that I've got a team that can even work a bit harder than me. There's no point in me outworking you. What am I hiring you for if I can do the work? So I need to have a team. So I test, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow when you're talking about hiring the right team. You can't just look at somebody's CV and say, oh yeah, this person has 2 years experience in in accounting, I'm going to hire them, or in being a PA, I'm going to hire them. But in the interview process, you actually need to test them for all the skills that you need. And it's also important for you to actually write down the skill sets that you're after, so you know what you're trying to test. Does that make sense? So I've always been passionate. Abdullah says, Dr. Profade has been working on Bookings Africa since 2016. Yes, indeed. Precious says, I've informed a lot of people. Emeka wants to know the email address. Emeka, how did you get the link? Did you not email info@bookingsafrica.com? I'm going to type that now in the group so you can see that. And who else do I have here? Yesterday you mentioned where you initially had your form. Yes, it was Wix.com. So if you are building a website and you just want something very basic that you can do yourself, it's like the TikTok of websites, right? It's called Wix.com. I'm putting that on here now. It's free. So you can build your own free website. It's like a WordPress, but I like Wix because it's very easy to use. So thank you, everybody. And I hope that you've all downloaded the Bookings Africa app. I hope you've all signed up to bookingsafrica.com. I hope you're following us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's @Bookings Africa. If you're trying to contact me personally, Fade Ogunro on Instagram is the best place to contact me. I read all my comments. I read all my DMs. Trust me, I actually do. I really do. So feel free to send me messages that way. And remember that Bookings Africa is here for you. We want to get Africa working. So whatever your side hustle is, whatever your passion is, we want to enable you to be able to monetize that at the tap of a button. You don't need people emailing you back and forth, asking your price, telling you that you're too expensive. If you're a makeup artist, hairdresser, DJ, dancer, voiceover artist, graphics illustrator, we have about 17 different services on our platform that you can sign up for right now. It's absolutely free. Create your own portfolio, put in your price, put in your work hours, and clients from all over the world get to book you. It is that simple. And we've had Coca-Cola, Access Bank, Unilever, all these guys have actually used us before. So if you want to cross over into the professional world, whatever your skill sets are, we can definitely help you out with that. So on that note, let me see, is there anything else that's really important that anybody else is writing here? There's a lot of focus on securing an investor, but how do you qualify that you're working with the right sort of investor? An investor that's equally as passionate about developing you and not just focused on returns. That's why when you meet them, you ask them these questions. You say, what have you done before? What businesses have you done before? You also ask, when did you exit? Because exiting, when somebody invests their money, they might say, okay, I'm going to give you 100,000 naira, but in 1 year, I want 300,000 naira. So you ask them, how many times have you exited? Were you successful in getting 300,000 naira back within 1 year from that person that you invested in? If they say yes, then they tend to be a good investor. That means they were able to add value to the business where they were able to get their profit out in a year's time at 3 times what the original value was. So you need to find out. It's not just the one way where it's like you're being interviewed by the investor. No, it's two way. You've got to also interview your investor as well. Like I said, I've had an investor that a potential investor that offered me $1 million for 50% of my company. And I said then, no, I wasn't willing to give away more than 20 or 30%. So I'm not giving you, even if you're giving me 10 times the money that I want. It took me 6 months to book one meeting with you as an investor. So now if I have an issue, you might not answer my phone call for the next 3 months. So I need more than just money. So you need to also realize what is important to you and ask and find out to ensure that the investor can deliver on that as well. So Mimi and Wande, I hope you got that. How much stake does platform have in Bookings Africa? They have 30%. Is it safe to say that they're your co-founder? Nope. I'm a solo founder. They're just my investors, that's all. Did previous investors raise an eyebrow at not having a co-founder? No, they didn't actually, because a lot of people thought that I would have a CTO as a co-founder, because obviously I don't know how to develop, I don't know how to code, I'm not a developer. So a lot of people thought that that would be the logical thing for me to do. But lucky for me, I was able to strike a deal with a guy called Otoide, is one of my really good friends, and he builds websites and apps. So I then told Otoide, do you know what? I will pay you monthly X amount of money. So I didn't have to, normally maybe to build the website is like 3 million. But because I've got a good relationship with him, I said, okay, I need this website done in a year. So can I pay you, I don't know, 200K or 150K every month? And I made sure that I was on top of my payments. So that way, he was almost on like a salary, but even though he wasn't a member of staff. So I didn't have to have a co-founder and share my equity. So people didn't actually look down on that. What else do I have before I go? Have you ever considered dealing with products or service alone? Product, I may go into products, but there's a lot of competition in that field right now, going into the e-commerce side. So I'd rather just deal with the space that I know, which is solving the problem that I had as a producer in being able to find talent and skilled professionals anywhere across Africa, simply at the tap of a button. So that is the beauty of Bookings Africa. We're in Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya. And if you need a model, a makeup artist, a hairstylist, that's what we're there for. What are you expecting the SA office to add to your business profile? What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. I have a team in SA. So Bookings Africa is not only in Nigeria. We're in Nigeria, we're in South Africa, and we're in Kenya. We want to expand to Ghana. We want to expand to Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. So this is, I'm not sure if you guys can see the app. It's a bit dark, but Bookings Africa. Anyways, check it out. You can't really see it, can you? There you go. So that's the Bookings Africa app. It shows you like comedian, compare, dancer, DJ, equipment rental, fashion stylist, filming locations, graphic designers, hairstylists, live musicians, locations, makeup artists, models, nail technician, photographer, social media influencer, videographer, and voiceover artist. So those are all the various services that you can sign up for. All right, so on that, am I considering including professional services on the platform? Naimeka, that was a great question. I actually have been speaking to my team about that because of this COVID season. I've been reading a McKinsey report, which shows the trend of employment, of unemployment during this COVID season, because a lot of professionals are actually losing their jobs. So because of that, I do believe that I think it's a good idea for professionals to come onto the platform as well. So hopefully within the next few months, once we know what's happening with the COVID, let's say a lot of accountants don't have jobs, or a lot of legal advisors don't have jobs. The plan is you'll soon be able to book an accountant. So maybe you've got a hair business, and at the end of the month, you just want accountants to come over to your office you want to send them your documents, and you want to pay them per hour or for 2 or 3 hours. Now you can pay for an accountant per hour for them to do a job for you. Or let's say you've got an NDA or an MOU document that you want to be quickly drafted and read, then you can also pay for an accountant or the legal advice per hour. So it's basically whatever your skill set is, the vision, the mission of Bookings Africa is to be able to allow you monetize your passion and your skill sets at the tap of a button. We want to get Africa working. That is the main plan. So Oyinye says, the past 3 days have been amazing. Thank you. Funlola Yusuf says, who are your competitors globally? Gosh, there's quite a lot. So if you think about people like Fiverr, Upwork, Paper Hour, Freelancer.com, these are the sort of people that I'd call my competitors. You also have, in America, there's a company called Style Seat. They specialize in hairstylists, makeup artists, nail technicians. So they would also be a global competitor of mine. But there isn't really a platform for the gig economy. That's the beauty of it. So globally, there actually isn't one just specifically for people that you can pay per hour for whatever service they offer. I've got a few people saying I should add architects, logistics. When was the last time you paid an architect per hour? No, it's per project. So it's harder for me to get people where you need to pay them for a particular project. It's easier when you can just pay someone per hour. All right, so it's now 7:39. My battery is on 2%, so I'm gonna go now. I will be here 5 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, tell a friend, look out in your emails by 3 p.m. every day. We will send you the Zoom links. And also remember, Survey Monkey, we will be sending you a survey at the end of this end of this seminar, literally by 8 o'clock, check your emails, please. You will have an email from SurveyMonkey, because all the feedback that you give us is important so that we can make tomorrow's session even better. All right, guys, on that note, thank you so much. Have a good night, and I will see you at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Bye.